was never whole, only fragments stitched together by guilt, by fear, by the silence of forever. Drown me in the crimson mist, where guilt and madness coexist. The light I lost, I let it die, buried beneath the fractured sky. So tear me down in flame and steel, let the pain be all that's real. This ashen veil, my legacy, a soul unmade, no memory. In silence I dwell, a ghost beneath the skin. Eyes burned by truth, I bury deep within. The ash of my name still stains the earth. No rebirth, just a memory cursed. I scream through the static of fractured dreams, a shadow of man torn at the seams. Drown me in the crimson mist, where guilt and madness coexist. The light I lost, I let it die, buried beneath the fractured sky. These hands once reached for something pure, now tremble in doubt, I can't endure. A hollow vessel built from pain, cursed to walk through fire and rain. No salvation, no peace inside, only echoes of the self I hide. Born from ash, forged in shame. You can't kill what never had a name.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Wilkes County, North Carolina for the Wilkes 250. 250 laps of excitement on tap here tonight at the HPRL Truck Series. It's going to be a good one, Michael. It's time for some short track racing.
That's right. Coming off of Iowa, which we deem is usually a little bit bigger for short track, coming to an old school home track here of NASCAR, a really grassroots feel to it here, Wilkes Canada. We've brought back to life recently through the efforts, obviously Dale Jr. a big light on that, bringing back light here to North Wilkesboro to get it revamped, repaved, and we're excited for some short track racing. I think this is where we get true short track racing. This is going to be really tight corners, really tight fields, nowhere to go, and a lot of short tempers.
Absolutely. Elbows up here tonight. We're going to rip through these 250 laps at a quick pace. Let's go ahead and take a look at the race analysis real quick, just to bring to life everything we're talking about. 250 laps. It's about 156 miles. I think it's 156.25. Stage breaks at lap 50 and 115, and then the sprint to the finish of 250. Pit road speed 35 miles an hour. It's going to feel really slow if you have to make a green flag stop. We estimate the fuel run to be about 155 to 160. That will fluctuate greatly depending on the pace of the race, high line versus low line, and the number of cautions. So we don't really expect fuel to be a big factor in the long run. 6 sets of tires and one fast repair, like always. So really excited for the Wilkes County 250 here this evening. And it's been a fun season to begin with, Michael. The points are already very exciting after these first 3 weeks.
Indeed, we'll go ahead and pull up our points line here. So far this season, your leader still Jesse Sperling in that 29 machine. He has shown great pace at every racetrack. He's got a couple wins. Obviously, you see the one win there. Excuse me, one win there. But we've seen him mainly up front most of every race. Mostly we focus on him being able to control those tire wear very well. He's a very patient driver, and you can see that it's paid off with him leading the points here.
Absolutely. You can see that cutoff line. That's what they're all going to be working towards. But just real quick, Jesse Sperling, Jason Baker, Emil Duna, Derek Grigsby, and Christopher Hockley, your top 5. Looks like the graphics missing a win for Jared Mann there in 12th. That's their third win. 3 different winners through 3 races this season. But a lot of excitement as we roll here into Wilkes County. And just like that, we're going to turn the page to race number 4 and see if we get a new winner or if we're going to have our first repeat winner of this season. We got just a couple minutes before the guys start gridding up. We'll go ahead and take a look at the results from qualifying. Starting on the pole is your points leader, Jesse Sperling in that 29 truck, and Jared Mann in the 26 outside the front row. Moving on back, the 43 of Caleb Sibbett starting P3, and the 00 of Kevin Winker in P4 in that 00 truck. Starting P5, the 2 of Mickey Sundera, and the 58 of Joshua Baker in the Fruity Pebbles car in P6. Brian Torrey, the 74, starts P7, and outside of row number 4 is the 1 of Taylor Locklear. Starting P9, the 18 of Jerry McKinney, and 10th, the 15 of Christopher Hockley.
Starting in P11 will be the 93 of Burt Wojcik, and to his outside will be the 12 of Chris Griffin in P12. In P13, you'll find the 3 of Seth Owens, and to his outside the 51 of Patrick Schaefer in P14. In P15, the 5 of Derek Grigsby, and in P16, we find the 11 of Tyler Spry. In P17, the 85 of Jason Baker, and in P18, the 62 of Joey Creech. And in P19, we have the 16 of Austin Turner, and in P20, we have the 78 of JD Baker.
In P21 is our broadcaster, Michael Alexich, who will not be out there, and the 14 of Emil Duna starting P22. Well, Michael, I think we're going to have 20 trucks officially gridding. Obviously, yourself not out there, and JD is race controls. So both very important, but not going to be ripping laps around the track. It's going to be exciting here. The trucks are going to be gridding in just about 10 seconds. What do you think, Michael, before we bring in our pole sitter to talk to him?
Like we said, obviously we're not gonna be running the race tonight, but I was able to run some laps here with these guys earlier in this session before we got everything set up here, just to try to get a feel of how it's gonna behave. When you come to short tracks, I really think depending on how the weather is, it can really be 2 different animals that you're facing. The way we have it tonight, we're pretty warm temperatures, so I feel like it's gonna be a real. It has a grip because especially as we get later into the race, there's going to be a lot of grip as we get darker. But you're still going to have that aspect of short track where if you get on that throttle early and get aggressive, you're going to see a lot of these trucks dancing and wiggling out of these corners, trying to load up that right rear to really get the drive off the corners.
It is going to be entertaining to say the least. We're going to go ahead and see if we can get our pole center, our Duna Electric pole winner, Jesse Sperling, leading the points and leading the speed chart here at Wilkes County. How are you feeling going into this evening's race?
It was an unexpected pole. I didn't have a lot of practice this week, so I was just trying to get in here and figure out as much as I can, and I guess it was enough.
Well, I guess it was enough indeed. Starting up front, can't complain about that. Patience or push? What's your plan?
we'll have to see how the field behind me stacks up and what they're doing. And I'm not going to stretch it out too far if they feel like they're saving. So we'll just go from there.
Keeping the cards close to the vest like a true wholesaler. Well, Jesse, congratulations on winning the Duno Electric Pole Award, and good luck this evening.
Thanks, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, your Duno Electric Pole winner, Jesse Sperling. Michael, he didn't seem to want to give us too much intel on what his plans were here to start the race.
Well, I mean, I don't think you ever want to give away the entire scheme, especially with how good he's ran. He definitely wants to try to extend that lead a little bit more there in those points. But it could also be the fact that you don't know what you're getting into here. I mean, like I said, we could have green flags runs, and we may be able to have a little bit of chaos with some of these short track fun that we always talk about, bumpers all over the place. So I think he's just going to try to keep himself alive this first run and make sure he gets to see the next stage.
It will definitely be exciting. I would keep my cards close to the vest too, just to be honest about it. It's one of those things where early in a race, short track racing, strategy comes into play. So, it's really good. It's going to be really exciting. And we'll make sure we want to crank up. You see in the chat there, go number 11. Here there's some audio issues. Can't hear one of the broadcasters. So we'll see if we can get that addressed for you as the trucks roll around here. Ripping the laps as we get ready to go green. Again, short track racing, elbows up. Going to be a lot of excitement. Going to be a lot of dueling. Strategy may come into play. As the pace truck drops down to pit road, Jesse Sperling pacing the field ever so gently through turns 3 and 4, side by side. They're hitting that restart zone. Racing green flag at Wilkes County.
Here we go. Hold on to your seat as we go short track racing here at Wilkes County. You can already see the 43 of Caleb Sibbett slide up there in turns 1 and 2 with man on his outside. You see the 2 of Sundera behind them, but all of them are chasing the 29 early here. Jesse Sperling gets the launch he needs. He'll be at control of this race, leading the first circuit around. Jesse Sperling, your leader, as they head back into turn 1 for lap 2.
Jesse Sperling out in front of the first lap here at Wilkes County. We're running that middle groove. Jared Mann roping the bottom side. Biding some time. Everybody dueling up front. We have an early caution. Looks like maybe towards the back of the pack. We'll see if we can get a replay to see what brought out that early caution here at North Wilkesboro.
Looks like that 93 of Burt Wojcik here as he drives it in. Oh, gets loose. Oh, and gets a nice catch up there in the catch fence. Didn't catch anybody in that accident. I think he's trying to charge the corners, trying to see if we can get an in-car cam and maybe see if maybe he locked the brakes up trying to go into that corner. That's the real thing. If you lower the brake bias in these too far, you actually lock up the rears. Just a little bit. You can already hear that. You can hear the tires squealing going into the corner. Listen here. So right there, he's loose, and he's just trying to hold on to it, and just finally overcorrects and up there into the fence there for the 93.
Yeah, let's see if we can get one more look maybe out the back of Wojcik's truck there. It seems like when he's getting loose, maybe got a little yes, ever so slightly
just
across the nose of Chris Griffin.
You're right. Yep, just a little bit of a kiss there off the nose. Actually, with that being in mind, let's see if we can try to catch a view off the nose of Chris Griffin and try to see if we can get a view there while we're here. I think it's just, just a kiss to get that truck to shift the other way with its momentum.
So they'll reset here early at North Wilkesboro. Again, good chance to settle in, get a good feeling for how the truck's going to handle. Mike, you made a really good call out, the brake bias. A lot of brake here at North Wilkesboro to set the truck. Combination brake and gas to rotate the truck around the track. Brake bias is one of those things, like you said, that you factor into it. So we'll see what they do here. You see the pace truck dip off. Going to wrap up lap number 6. We'll be going back to green starting lap number 7. Again, Jesse Sperling on point for this restart. He hits the restart zone, drops down low, and he's back on the loud pedal. Wiggles it. Here at North Wilkesboro.
Yeah, you saw the 29 wiggle it just a little bit there in the restart zone. You saw him try to get that straight angle. If you can get as straight as you want off the restart zone, you're going to try to get all the power down that you can. You can see this front right here. They're still side by side there with the 26. The double zero. Winker's trying to poke his nose in there, trying to make up some ground here on the inside of Jared Mann. We watch on here. Oh, the double zero goes around. Winker spins out of 4. That'll bring out another caution.
Another early caution here at North Wilkesboro. You see Winker coming to rest there. Michael will get a replay dialed up for us and walk us through this one.
All right, here we go. We're going to watch on here. This is at a turn 2. We're going to get a nice rear end cam here. So you're going to see him go ahead and drive it hard into this corner. You can see that truck already start to pitch a little bit, and then he tries to get on throttle as soon as he can. And it's just so tight of a corner with the way the banking behaves. It's just going to get loose, and actually gets a little bit of an assistance there at the very end. Oh, you watch one more time. You see the 58 of Joshua Baker's right there. He's spinning, and the 58 just really, he can't go up because he's got Sundera up on the high side of him. And if he slows down, he's probably going to get ran over behind him. Try to see if we can get an in-car view. We'll watch the hands here as they go here. So watch on here. You'll see the hand. You see the wheel trying to feed the wheel in. He's already correcting right there, trying to feed the wheel over. And it just snaps right there on him. He's around. You can just see how fast, how much traffic and how fast they are coming around you. Really nowhere for you to go other than kind of go ahead and get the guy who's already spinning. It's pretty much sacrifice him or sacrifice yourself in a lot of these quick spins.
Quick spins indeed. Quick laps, quick spins. Everything happens in a jiffy. Kevin Winker hit pit road here, making sure that everything's cleaned up if he has any damage. But all of this, Jesse Sperling, Michael, these might be some of the easiest laps to lead under caution.
This is definitely the kind of laps that he wants to be leading. He doesn't want to have to worry about tire wear or worry about getting all of his fenders bent and bumped and have to buff them out later. Jesse's perfectly fine with getting these restarts where he usually gets that about 4-lap buffer. Usually you can get a couple lap buffer just off your restart alone because you get the sole power to determine when to go. So you pretty much are going to be, in all instances, if you get the power down straight, you should be clear going into turn 1. So then it's just playing defense, which we've seen Jesse do very well with. This dirty air, just how he determines where to set his truck up to really take away what these drivers behind him are looking for. So we'll continue to see that throughout the night. But like I said, I agree. I think if you keep getting these little quick bursts, it's going to play right into his favor just because he's going to get the jump anyways, and it's not have enough time to really make a move on him.
We'll see what they do. Pace truck's down. Time to jump again. Here we go. Jesse Sperling a little bit higher this time of the restart. Back to the gas pedal. Back to the front. Contact off the restart. Here we go again.
Everybody hold on to your seats. I think we saw the 43 get a little loose there on that restart. We may be 3 wide right here at a turn 2. No, Hoppy's going to fall back in line, sit it down there on the bottom. Trying to hold on down there, trying to lose too much ground. And the problem is if you do slide these tires, they're going to be really hot and they're going to be really unhappy to get them settled back down and get the truck to behave the way you want it to behave. You watch on here, Hawkins with a big ride up there to the wall. He's going to get that diamond effect. He's going to pull that truck down and get as much of a run as he can. And what you're going to try to do is you're going to see these guys most of the night. They're going to try to get up high by the wall in 1 and 2, maybe even in 3 and 4. Mostly in 1 and 2, they're going to try to turn that truck down and get to the inside going into turn 3 and try to almost bury the truck underneath the trucks in front of them to get that track position back. But all in all, still your leader, the 29 of Jesse Sperling, pulls away right now about 5/10 ahead of the 26 behind him. As you see this front 4 starting to settle out, but you still got 2 wide way on back here in the back.
2 wide, way on at the back. Michael says they're going round the outside, Yes, chat, we got you. We got the audio. We'll get it dialed in. Right now, we're dialed in on this race as these guys are driving around Wilkes County. You see the traffic, some low, some high. Working hard to spin and come down the straightaway.
Watching on here, we have another wreck. I'm trying to see if we can go ahead and get a good eye on it here. Trying to catch who it was. I believe it was the 15 of Hockley there on that one. Try to see if we can catch a replay here real quick. Oh, close race there. Gets it upset, or does it get a little bit of assistance there? Let's see if we can get a view off the back of the truck here. Here we go. riding on board here with the 15 of Christopher Hoffman. You're going to watch on here as they go into turn 3. Sibbett diving down there at the bottom, trying to get that truck on the bottom. I think Hockley gets, I think he gets a little bit of a hit, but I think when he tries to throttle back up, just the truck's not completely settled back down, and that's what sends him around. Troy, feel free to give me your opinion here. That's just the way I see it.
Tight racing, 2 different lines. It can be a matter of inches. Really close there. You know, it could be, like you said, Michael, a combination of a couple different things. You see Hockley come down a little bit, maybe a little bit of tap there. Maybe they stayed connected. You know, this is sim racing, so net code can be a real factor as well. Nonetheless, it brought out a caution, and here we are, pacing at Wilkes County, all still behind Jesse Sperling, still smiling, Michael, as you see Winker trying to beat that pace truck out at the last second.
Yeah, Kevin Winker was, I mean, just a couple feet from being stuck a lap down. He does get around it. He is going to stay on the lead lap. A great move there by Kevin Winker. And that's a point that we haven't pointed out yet. Pit road here is a super long pit road. I mean, it's 3/4 of the track around. As you can see, we'll watch on here with Winker. The exit is right there with that green cone. The entrance is right here going into turn 3, actually. We'll watch on here. You'll see it on the camera right here in the bottom right of your screen. You can see that yellow cone is the actual entrance of pit road. So it's 35 miles an hour around 3/4 of the track. I mean, it is forever to get on the pit road. And that's before you even do your stop. The pace laps here are not really long enough for you to get damage fixed or really have a long time to get a service done. You have to be on and off pit road very efficiently and very quick to stay on the lead lap here.
Yeah, the inside is usually the fast way around the track, but not when you're doing that 35 miles an hour. So it is a very long pit road. Like you said, not a great chance to get damage fixed. So good thing aero doesn't play a big factor here at North Wilkesboro. What does play a big factor is these restarts, and Jesse Sperling nails another one as we're back under green, heading off into turn 1, this time side by side.
Yep, Sundero was able to hold on there on that restart. Actually, a good range to have a run down here on the backstretch. Jesse Sperling stays low. Let's see if he's able to hold on to him. He is. Mickey's going to probably try to push hard here, try to clear him here off of 4. If he can get enough of a run generated, he will. He clears the 29 there. You see the 58 now on the outside. Jesse's going to fall back to P3 here. But the lead goes to 2. Mickey Sundera takes the lead. And here comes the 58 of Joshua Baker, now trying to put his stamp on it. They're both going to continue to run that higher line. There we go. We're going to see Josh enter a little bit higher there than the 2. You're going to see the 2 get right there on that bottom white line. Bit back on the throttle. See if we can get anybody loose here. It's real easy to get this truck to really spin early here, but more so we get later in the run. So we want to keep an eye on. But you can see how high they drive it up into the corner there. They're not roping the bottom so much in 1 and 2. They really use all the corner going in to get up by the wall and do that kind of diamond technique we were talking about. There you'll see the 58 do it right here as well. It gets a little tight, goes up the groove and pulls it back down, trying to get the run to set up going into this next set of corners here. As we watch on, it'll be these 2 battling for the lead. Jesse Sperling fades to 3rd, Jared McKinney in 4th, and Jared Mann in P5.
There's your top 5 as we start to settle in with some green flag laps here at North Wilkesboro. All this wrapping around behind Mickey Sundera, who took the point after that restart. Joshua Baker now settled in. Sundera going up high, kind of banks it off that corner, if you will. Imagine it's a dirt track. There's like a cushion up there. He puts it up there and drives it on down the banking. Joshua Baker in tow. Jesse Sperling restarted first, settles back into P3. Again, Jerry McKinney P4, Jared Mann in P5. All kind of settled in single file. The guys maybe are trying to find their groove, see what they're going to have. And you see Jared starting to look a little bit low, but can't close in on Civic.
Yeah, we're going to see a lot of these guys start playing around the lines. They're going to try to get out of the dirty air along with not losing too much ground, because it's not like a lot of, mile and a half where you can get up by the fence and just let this thing loose. It's still a short track. You still have to use braking no matter which line you take. It's just a matter of how well of a run are you going to get exiting the corners. We see some smoke right there. Do we have anybody losing spots? I don't see anybody. Maybe somebody got his light a little loose there. I don't see a yellow. I saw some smoke trails there. We'll keep an eye on that. Maybe something pops up. But anyways, carrying on. Like I said, these guys are going to keep playing lines. You see Jared right there dip early, trying to get underneath the 43. You'll see the 74 still trying to shade below him. Behind them, you see the Chris Griffin and this group right here, side by side, about 2 rows deep. So they're still trying to figure it out. The 85 of Jason Baker, the 12 of Chris Griffin. Chris on that high side. You'll see him try to get the run here off of 4. which is a super tricky turn in my opinion. I think it's the hardest one, this turn 4 here, just because it really kind of lies to you with how you think you're able to get up on the throttle. You think you're clear to go ahead and just get on it and start rolling out of the corner, and then it just gets really tight on your exit on that outside wall that catches you by surprise.
Catch you by surprise indeed, and surprise, we're over halfway through this first stage now. Now that the guys settled in, they're ripping and rolling here around this just over half-mile track in Wilkes County. All these battles going on. Single file turns into double file just like that. Watching for somebody to make a move. You see a check up there heading into the corner. That's how quickly you can close on the driver in front of you. All this slicing and dicing. Again, it looks calm when they're single file, but look at the closing speed as they head into the corner. Coming through the corner, great shot here. You see them fan out high, low, ripping down the straightaway, flying on by. This is happening fast. Here we go, a move to the bottom. Look at these guys moving, fighting for a lane.
Oh, Grigsby around!
Grigsby around, a couple more collected. Winkers there. Looks like Duna might have squeezed through on the bottom. Ooh, Michael. There's a wall on the top and the bottom. There's nowhere to go.
Well, just like we said, this short track race, you really have nowhere to run. Whenever you have trouble show up, you see Grigsby just gets it loose there out of the corner. We'll try to see if we can get a better view here. Try this one more time here. Here we go. We're going to get a view here as they roll into turn 3. You'll watch the 5 here. The 51 of Schaefer behind him. Here we go. You see the 5 get down there. Here comes the 00 of Winker. Let's see if I think the 5 just gets it loose. He does. Just throttles it up a little bit too much, and they all stack in. Duna catches a hair of it. We're actually going to ride on. We'll see if we can ride on board the 14 here of Emil Duna. If we can get a view here real quick. Here we go. We're going to ride along the 14 of Emil Duna here. You see the 51 and the 00 ahead of them starting to bump doors. And this gets a little bit of contact there, and then immediately tries to run before he comes back down and gets a little piece of them there. We'll do this one more time. Different view here. There we go. Still on the view of Duna right there. You see Winker there on the inside of the 51 of Patrick Schaefer. They bump doors. And they just all collect, the 3 of them right there. And you can see Duna right there on that truck. Actually gets a little bit of right front damage. You see that fender folds in just a little bit. So we'll see how much that affects him later in this run.
How quickly things can change. Just like that, you know, one truck gets loose and 3 more trucks are right there. That's how fast things happen at North Wilkesboro. But again, these guys are putting on a heck of a show. Lap 35 currently, again, running to lap 50 here in the first stage. It'll be interesting to see what they do at the end of this stage, Michael. Again, we said, you know, fuel's probably not going to be a factor, but I'm guessing everybody's going to be screaming for tires.
They're definitely going to be wanting them, just because if they don't, they're going to get left in the dust by the guys who do take it. I mean, tire wear is going to be a big thing here, especially with how hard these guys are pushing on these short runs. You know, we said we obviously don't get a ton of tire wear, but if you keep pushing them over and over again, it's running almost qualifying laps, you're going to fade eventually. So you're still going to have tire wear. It just may not be as egregious as you doing it 30 laps in a row, but if you're taking these short bursts, you're going to drive the truck really hard to not lose position and try to go gain position and really heat them up. So everybody's going to be looking for that fresh rubber when we come to the pits this next time. But as we roll on here, the 2 is your leader. Sundera has the point with the 58 on his outside.
Mickey Sundera pacing the field back into that restart zone, and the green flag flies as he lets it loose. Fruity Pebbles chasing him down, but Sundera back to the point on the restart.
Yep, he's going to try to run everything he can. You see the 2 actually run the high line there. Jesse Sperling likes the bottom down there. You've seen him most of this race trying to get to that bottom with that very tire conservative line that we always talk about, the 29 machine. Jesse Sperling, a great one when it comes to saving tires for later in these runs. I'm interested to see how much he saves here. Maybe he has a little bit of speed towards the end of it if we keep getting these like this. But the 2 and the 58 love that high line. They've been using it for most of this race. We saw the 2 use it to get around Jesse Sperling, the 58 as well. They're just using those runs of the high line, but it is just heating up and eating away at those right side tires. The longer they stay up there, it's just going to heat them up more and more because you're using more force on the truck to lean on those tires. You see right there, it's just how much they're leaning on it to get it to then pull it right back down. The 2 still on the point. 58, the 29 side by side as they roll into 3.
Rolling into turn 3, Mickey Sundera sees Jesse Sperling and Joshua Baker battling side by side. It's what he wants to see. You see Sperling slide the front end a little bit coming out of the corner. Doesn't lose ground, but loses a little bit of momentum. Underneath Baker, the 2 of them side by side. This has been like 4 laps in a row as Sperling gives up a little ground, but here he goes, close it in. Meanwhile, Jared Mann, Caleb Simmons, Jerry McKinney, look at all of the fighting. Jason Baker now in the mix. All of these guys really trying to push here in the last 10 laps of the stage.
They're definitely trying to get every bit of stage points they can get here. You're going to see these guys continue to do it all night, especially when we get closer to the end of these stages. They're going to get every point they can. You see Jesse Sperling still fighting hard here with the 58 of Joshua Baker still side by side. They've been this way for the last 6 laps. I feel like they just won't get separated. Neither one's really giving an inch. Jesse's rolling the bottom very well to keep the pace. And the 58, maybe a little bit of fade starting to show up there as they're still side by side. Jesse lost a little bit of ground there. He's going to lose a little bit. So now the 58 is going to pull down in front of Jesse Sperling. So that would give Joshua Baker the spot as the 2 of Mika Sendera continues to run away. Looking back behind these two, though, you see the battle for P5 between the 26 of Jared Mann, the 43 of Caleb Simmons, the 85 of Jason Baker, right sitting on the corner panel, the 43. Oh, got loose there. 85, a little bit of a wiggle there as we saw Jason Baker slide down the track. And right beside him, the 16 of Austin Turner has made his way up in the top 10. He's now P8.
Austin Turner working his way through the pack, started P19 and battling up here inside the top 10 now. Great run to start the race. Again, just a handful of laps, a little bit more than a handful of laps we go. You see Jason Baker looking underneath Austin Turner. He backs up the corner, gasses a little bit sooner, rolls the bottom. Here's going to accelerate off. Turner up high. Baker down low, headed off into the corner. Baker rolls into the bottom groove, just off the bottom. Turner through the middle groove. He's going to close off the exit for Baker, but Baker gets a heck of a run as they dive off into the corner again, and the caution is out.
Caution is out indeed. I'm trying to see if we can catch a view on who it was. Not seeing too much damage. Let's see if we can. We're going to take a swing here and see if we can take a little gander. Let's see what happened here. We're going to start with the 62 of Joey Creech. See if we can figure out where it's at. Oh, right there. Joey Creech coming off pit road catches the 51 of Patrick Schaefer, actually. Looks like he gets it loose at a 2. Here we go. We're going to ride right behind the 51 of Patrick Schaefer. See him rolling into turn 1 here. Oh, he's sideways going into the corner. Throttles it up. Oh, I think he was loose coming out of it. Let's see if we can get the cockpit, see if we can listen to the truck. I think he's loose and tries to feed it throttle, and it just comes in a little bit more. Here we go. We're going to listen in here. So I think he was just loose trying to get that truck to throttle back up. The 62 was down there and just really had nowhere to go.
Yeah, I think, you know, one of the replays, Michael, you had a great view of it where he had Hockley going up high. So he wanted to keep the truck down, even though he was loose, to not go back up in front of Christopher Hockley. Unfortunately, Joey Creech was coming down low, so no matter where he went, he was going to have a new best friend tagged onto that truck. You see Hockley here up high, Creech down low. Unfortunately, just not enough room for Patrick to save it. But, hey, it made for an exciting corner for everybody as we saw the conclusion of pit stops there.
Indeed, we actually see a couple guys on pit road here. We missed the race off pit road trying to go over that review. We were happy to get a race off pit road cam set up here at North Wilkesboro. We're try to see if we can use that maybe the next stage. We'll make sure to try to catch an eye on that. But you see a bunch of them roll off pit road here. Tricky thing here, like I said, the pack is always closed, so you have to be careful not to leave on a closed pit road because that will be a penalty that will drop you to the back of the field if you leave and the pit road is closed. So you don't want to get another penalty by making a stop anyways.
Indeed. Everything happened so quickly. Obviously, very short track. Everything's getting sorted back out, it looks like. Caution right before the end of the stage always mixes things up just a touch. We're going to see if guys get settled in here, and we can get back to green. You can see everybody kind of trying to find their spot.
Everybody's trying to figure out where they need to go as we start. I think we let the pace truck by, so I think maybe they went around it on accident. There we go. We're going to see everybody pick back up here. There we go. It happens very frequently. Obviously, me and you with a couple of races we've ran. Obviously, you know sometimes the iRacing way it does the pace laps or the pace truck, pace car rather. Sometimes it has a little bit of a little bit of hiccup to where you gotta let it go past you. You gotta get around it very quickly. It's just one of those things you come to grow whenever you start racing on the server here.
It is one of the fun things indeed to work your way through. You see the field getting reset side by side. Very, very entertaining. Taylor Locklear up front, the 1 in the 1 position. We always like when numbers work out like that. Joey Creech going to be restarting on the outside of that front row. It will be exciting to see some new moving and shaking here as the pace truck is off. Taylor Locklear gets them back in the restart zone, and we're back green here in Wilkes County.
Back green here, Locklear leaves the field, actually pulled up the timing tower here on the side. You can see that where the last pit stop was, going to be the right side of that number there. So Taylor Locklear still has yet to pit here in this race. He is still on the same set he started with. You see the winker down there on the bottom. The 00 going to try to make his move around the 1 here. He close almost. He gets it done. The 00 to the point here. The 58 of Joshua Baker back there looking to make his move. The 1 of Locklear is going to try to hold on here. Obviously, he's out there to earn some stage points. He's going to try to hold on in as many positions as he can to get those stage points that he needs. You see him drive it up here high in 3 and 4, trying to rope that truck back down. We have a caution. Ooh, a big wreck in the back.
A lot of action there in the back. We'll get that reset. Just real quick, want to shout out those in the chat. Tyler Spry weighing in before the race began. Tony Sibbett, Lisa, Abby, Sharon, we see you all. Thank you all so much. If we get this replay dialed up tonight.
We're going to watch on here. I think the 18 of Jerry McKinney gets it started for us here. He's just going to lock up the brakes going in. We talked about the brake bias. The 85 goes in there, catches him. The 51 clips somebody down in the bottom. We're going to watch one more time here. The 18 before we flip our cams here. You see he gets loose. 85 catches him. You see the 51 trying to avoid it down there. Now we're going to go over here to Patrick Schaefer. We're going to ride on board with Patrick Schaefer here as he goes into this corner. So you can see he sees him loose. He's off the gas trying to rope that truck down. Just doesn't see the 74 of Brian Torrey, who ends up getting hooked in that exchange there. We'll go ahead and get a view on board the 74 here. Here we go. We're going to ride on here. Watch it one more time. So you see the 51 there on the right side of this truck here. See the 18 spin. He's checked up. He's going to go to the bottom. Schaefer just comes down and hooks him up there and gets him up into the fence.
Not a lot of room for evasive maneuvers, so that is short track racing defined on your screen right there. Real quick, would love to give a shout out to the title sponsor of the HPRL Truck Series here in season number 6. That is Jiffy Lube of Mechanicsburg and Camp Hill, Pennsylvania. Jiffy Lube of Mechanicsburg and Camp Hill, Pennsylvania is proud to support grassroots racing and the sim racing community. We provide fast, reliable automotive maintenance to help keep our customers on the road with confidence. From oil changes and inspections to preventative maintenance and vehicle care, we're committed to quality service in the Mechanicsburg and Camp Hill, Pennsylvania communities. Just like racing, vehicle maintenance depends on performance, reliability, and attention to detail. We're excited to support the HPRL Truck Series and the drivers, teams, and fans who love motorsports. Jiffy Lube of Mechanicsburg and Camp Hill, Pennsylvania. Leave worry behind. Leaving worry behind, Michael. First stage into stage 2 here. Kevin Winker up front. He had some excitement early. Do you think we're ready to leave the worry behind on this restart?
Absolutely not. We're just getting started here. We're going to see if we can hold on for some more chaos as they come green here. Back to green here at North Wilkesboro.
Kevin Winker out front. Great restart. You see Taylor Locklear and Mickey Sendera 1-2, but they're running for 2-3 right now. Kevin Winker out in front as we get going back underway here. Out front, 2x2 behind Winker here on lap 58.
Yep, great pack battle here. You see behind the Winker gets clean. We always talk about the leader gets the advantage to get away from all the chaos with the jump off the restart. You're going to watch 29 of Jesse Spurley now working underneath the 1 of Locklear. The 2 of Sendera gets clean. He goes right up back to the high side. He's been running most of this race. You see the 29 of Jesse Spurley continue to run that low middle line that he's been enjoying to run there. Trying to work on saving those tires late in the run. You see behind them the 1 of Locklear now fighting with the 26 of Jared Mann. He's going to try to hold on as long as he can. The 16 of Austin Turner now at the P6. He gained a few more spots there. He continues to push his way ahead. Curious to see how he's going to tangle up here with the 26 and the 29 if he can get around the 1 of Locklear here. So we'll continue to watch on here as you see Hockley's rebounded. Christopher Hockley back up to P7 there. He's rebounded in that 15 Jiffy Lube machine. Continue to run well. The Civic behind them, the 12 of Chris Griffin behind these guys, which rounding out your top 10.
Great battles throughout. You saw Taylor Locklear kind of trapped up on that high side as he's starting to maybe feel the effects of not having made a pit stop for fresh tires. But here, Christopher Hockley seeing the battle between Turner and Locklear in front of him, trying to size him up. Again, you see guys right up against the wall. I think that was Chris Griffin literally roping the wall, but Caleb Sibbett now looking underneath Hockley.
Yep, keep watching on here. Sibbett and Hockley working hard against each other, but ahead of them, the one. Whoop, we have a caution.
Caution is out. You see Patrick Schaefer on pit
Pit
road
road.
here. Looks like some right front damage. Don't know if that's fresh or from before, but we'll take a look here on this replay.
Oh! We're going to get a pretty good estimate here. Watch on. Oh, he gets ran over and thrown in the pit road. And Duna catches a little bit on the tailgate after the fact. See if we can try to get a better view of what happened there. Watch on here, the 51 of Patrick Schaefer, who just really can't seem to get away from chaos tonight. Here we go. We're going to run on the checkup between the 58 and the 18. He gets hit by the 85. The 85 doesn't have time to check up and just pummels him there in the pit lane. Actually curious to see what happened at Duna there on that one. Where does Duna get involved in this? He gets ran over by Tyler Spry, which throws him into the barrels, which damages the back of that truck. We're going to watch one more time here. We're going to try to catch a view of the 18, who I believe was the main stack up for this. Here we go. We're going to watch on here at turn 2. Oh, a little bit of contact. Gets that truck to wiggle, actually. The 18. A little bit of contact on the front of the 58. Here we go. We're right on board the 58 here. Here we go. I'll ride aboard the 58 machine here. You see the 18 ahead of him. The 18 tries to get that high line, come back down. Baker's there, gives him a bump, gets that truck to wiggle, and gets right up to speed. The problem is not with these two, it's the group behind them that end up having to check up and stack up, which ends up catching these cars all together. You see the 62 there had to check up, and behind him, that gets the 51 turned from the group behind him. Here we go. We'll right back on Schaefer one more time here. Now we see how it all unfolded. So you see check up. The 85 trying to get out that corner, full throttle racing the 3, and that just ends up going into the back of the 51, and Duna gets clipped by the 11 there.
A lot to unpack in a short amount of time.
A little bit of a word gaggle there.
A little Bam Bam started up front with Fruity Pebbles into the 18, and then it ended with Duna taking a seat in the chair, trying to just check up. So we'll see if everybody can get back rolling, piece it back together here. But most importantly, we're side by side. Kevin Winker in the restart zone fires away, and we're back underway.
Here we go again. I know you're trying to run out of content and get on these green flags runs with all these cautions we keep happening here, but we continue to roll on here. The 00 Winker's going to take the point and take the lead here. Rolling into turn 3, you see the 2 of Mickey Sundera drives deep in the corner to get there to that white line. He's trying to get side by side here with the 00. Able to see if he's able to hold on here going into turn 1 and 2. He is. Let's see how the 00 plays it. Oh, up tight. The 2 actually checked up a little bit, make sure he didn't get into the door of the 00 Winker there. You see Jesse Sperling behind these guys, still biding his time, taking his time. The Sundera underneath the 00 Winker, continue to make his push ahead, trying to get there. It's going to be hard on the bottom because he's not going to have the momentum he wants. Oh, contact! Around goes the 2! Sundera spins on contact. Yellow now.
Deep breath. Holy cow. Side by side up front. A little bit of contact. And Mickey Sundera gets left at the prom. The bottom of the corner. We'll watch the replay here.
Yep, so you see Mickey still trying to fight hard there. He thinks the 00 is going to be a little bit higher, so he tries to get as much real estate as he can. And once he gets that truck unsettled, it's just not going to stay there and actually spins it loose. We'll try to catch an onboard look here with the 2 machine. There you go. You can see the 00 out there on his outside. He's going to brake hard, trying to get up to right beside him. Just gets a little bit up there too much and gets that truck sideways. No damage, but obviously he's going to lose all those spots he had worked so hard to gain.
A little bit more work to do, like you said. I think one of the things that is important that you can't always tell just from watching a broadcast, Michael. 1 and 2 is a tricky corner. It's kind of like two separate corners. We always talk about hitting the apex of the corner, but turns 1 and 2 kind of have a double kink to them, especially if you're on that low line. And I think when you watch a truck enter that low line hard, it might look good for the first part of the corner, but you still have to make that second part of the corner, and that's where it can get really tight. Or if you get it to rotate, it can snap from tight to loose.
I agree. Definitely, we'll try to see maybe we can catch an onboard of the 00 here. We'll try to see maybe we can try to catch one of these guys who are roping that bottom. Try to see if we can get a visual on what you're trying to point out there. Like I said, obviously me and you both understand. We've seen it. We've been in this truck before, but for the audience, they don't quite exactly want to know how to piece it together. So we'll try to see if we can give them a visual there to try to help them understand what we're talking about. We'll try to walk them through that as well. But like you said, it is technically, you have to treat it like two separate corners. It's just so different. You think you're able to get on the throttle, and then it's just so much more of a hang that you have to sit there and wait for it to finally get that truck to roll all the way out of there. So obviously it's bad when you have to be aggressive, and with all these short runs we have continuously seen so far this race, that's what you're going to get.
Indeed, short runs keeps the trucks close together. And again, walls very, very close on both the inside and the outside of the track. It doesn't give you a lot of room, a lot of forgiveness, so you have to really hit those marks, or if you have to check up, it can lose a lot of momentum, and you might have a new best friend in your truck bed too. But right now, Kevin Winker says, I want to go back racing. Oh, a big wiggle for Sperling as we get back under green.
Oh, able to hold on to it, though. A little bit of a stack up there. You're going to watch on here. Here we go. Sperling now up on that high line. He's trying to make ground to get back single file. You see the 26 below there of Jared Mann. There we go. Jesse Sperling right behind here. Let's see if we can catch an onboard real quick. Try to see if we can ride along. We're going to ride along here with the 29 of Jesse Sperling. We're going to watch here going into 1 and 2 that you were talking about, Troy.
As they head into the corner, of course, Jesse takes the high line, so it makes it a little less obvious. But you can see when we go around 3 and 4, I would call more of a traditional feel. It's pretty much just a sweeping corner, the same amount of wheel put. You watch Jesse's wheel here, pretty consistent throughout the corner. Now, as they head off into 1 and 2, Jesse's going to probably take the high line again. You see a lot of wheel input here, but he has to continue to put more wheel in, and there's more wheel put in again. That's kind of 2 turns. You watch his wheel when he go into 1 and 2, he's going to pull left twice, and that's because of how the turn is configured, and it's really, really difficult, especially as your tires start to wear out.
Yep, here we go. We'll try to catch one more time. Maybe try to get a groove lower here. You see that little tug right there, and then continues to hold it down way further than what he's having to do in 3 and 4. So able to keep his hand speed, which is very good on the tire where we always talk about him being careful with those hands on the tire. Let's see if we maybe try to grab another view. See if we can catch Jared, who's been on this bottom here for most of this run. Here we go. Let's see if we can catch a good view of that bottom groove. Here we go. Here's a better one. We're going to see him. He's holding the wheel. Comes back up a little bit and goes right back down. It took it just a little bit more to get it out of that tight turn 2 exit.
That's all happening with all your best friends rolling around at the historic North Wilkesboro Speedway. And again, Michael, this is different than what it used to be. Those of you that watched, quote-unquote, back in the day, it was a bottom-dominant track. But now, especially in 1 and 2, the guys like to go up high, and it's to keep that momentum, not eat away at the speed so much. But if you want to save tires, Michael, the bottom still is the best way, according to the drivers.
I have always been a bottom feeder at short tracks. I've always tried to focus on being tire conservative, just because when you get green flags runs like we hope we come to see, you really got to need the tires. I mean, it's so hard to advance advanced positions here at a short track. As you can see, we've seen so far this race, it's just hard to move around. You don't have a lot of lanes that you can really play with. So I've tried to keep as much tire as I can to try to always stay on the offense and just try to limit how many people behind me can really come and attack me. You know, if you heat up your tires, you don't have any tire left, you're just going to have to bleed spots, and you can't really do anything about it. I mean, there's nowhere you can go to try to find speed or make up speed. You're just going to eventually fade out and fall out of your spot. Oh!
Words are hard. The racing's harder. Oh! And that hit was hard from Brian Torrey into the outside wall in the turn. It looked like he just snapped loose, Michael.
I think so. I think a little bit of maybe the camera curse as we were actually following along there with the 74. We'll catch a long view here behind. You see the 2 of Mickey Sundera underneath him, the 74 here on the outside. Here we go. We're gonna roll here into turns 1 and 2. Already loose and just another overcorrect and snaps it right back up into the fence. I don't think anybody else gets anything from that. Nope. We'll try to see if we can catch a look at his hands here. I think he was loose going into this corner. Here we go. We're gonna ride. You see the two there on his inside of Sandera. Here we go. Feed into the corner. You can see sideways, just hangs the wheel and it grabs and hooks him right up into the fence.
Great view of the hand movement there. Obviously, when you start to get loose, you bring it back to the right. What you just never know, Michael, is how quickly the tires are going to grip. And in that case, they gripped really fast, and he had a lot of right wheel input into that, and it went right where those hands were trying to save it. Unfortunate and hard wreck for Brian Torrey there into the outside wall.
You see Amadouno's going to get the lucky dog there. A couple guys on pit road here. We'll see them come out. The 51 is Schaefer, the 62 of Creech, the 3 of Seth Owens, and obviously the 74 Torrey, who I don't know if he beat the pace car out on that one. I don't think he did. We'll keep an eye on that. But your leader, Jesse Sperling, is going to take back that number 1 spot. And yep, the 74 is not. Oh, he's going to go back on the pit road.
Heading back to pit road. Probably didn't beat the pace truck out, so maybe just getting out of the way. Maybe take a chance to get a little bit more damage fixed. See some shout outs from Lori for Sperling. Sperling back out in front. Well timed call out there, Lori. As we see the field double back up. Michael, you mentioned it earlier, and I know we don't have long into this caution lap, but when you do have damage at a short track like this, you don't have a lot of time, especially if you're trailing the back of the pack or getting caught up in a wreck. You can get maybe 20 seconds, question mark, at a pit stop.
I think you're pushing it with going anything more than 12. I'm completely honest. Obviously, if you don't take tires and don't take fuel, you just strictly go for damage. We'll try to see if we can time out a pace lap next time. We'll try to see if maybe we can catch someone who damages getting it fixed. I mean, it's 20 seconds, I think, tops, and then you have to be rolling at perfect speed off pit road, and you can't speed, otherwise then what you're trying to fix is going to hurt you even more because you're going to have to come and serve a penalty or go to the back and serve a penalty. So it's just a fine line of you don't want to. You can have dings and dangs. You don't want broke because you're not going to be able to fix broke with how much time you have in the pits here.
You know, dings and dangs and rolling speed. Sperling rolls back to the front into that caution. Sibbett made a big move, and right now the flagman's making a big move with that yellow flag.
Have another caution. I don't know where. Try to see if we can get a view from someone to see what happened here. Oh, the big is on the 93 here. All right, looking at Bert Wojcik here at a turn 4. Just gets it loose off turn 4. We've seen it a couple times so far tonight. We're going to get another view looking in at his hands. Try to see where he throttles up here. Here we go. We're going to ride with him. This is at a 2. You're going to see the 3 wide, actually about 3 wide ahead of him. Here we go. On that bottom groove. Throttles it up. And see what happens is I wish we could get a better view of how the track behaves. There's actually a little bit of an odd way the banking shifts down there off of 4. It's almost like a little bump on the exit. You can see where see if we can try to see where he hits it. See if we can find a better view here. Let's see what we can find. All right, one more time here off this camera angle. So we see if we can see it here. It's going to be right here near the bottom. You'll see it. I can't really get a good view on it. I wish I could. But nonetheless, there's a little bit of a bump or a little bit of a change down there on the banking to where it's really easy to get that truck light when it shifts the weight over. And so that's where we've seen a couple spins there on the lower line outside turn 4.
A lot of character on this track, a lot of character behind the wheel of each one of these trucks, a lot of work going on. All of this excitement still happening here in stage 2. We're on lap 91. Again, we're racing to lap 115, and hopefully we don't hit the caution right around the stage break, so we can give a shout out to our stage sponsor, Vickers Auto Parts, but we'll make sure we get that at the end of stage 2 here. Right now, Vickers has to be happy though with Jesse Sperling pacing the field here under caution.
Definitely can't be upset to see this 29 machine up at the front once more. We've seen a couple times this year. He's looking to try to go and win. No, when we've seen consistent speed out of him, he has consistent speed. He's not necessarily blazing all the time. He runs very consistent laps, keeps the times where he needs to have it to have good run on the shorter run, not the shortest run, but a shorter run, the middle, and especially in the long run is where Jesse Sperling thrives. If we ever get that long run, I expect him to start building up a good chunk of business. Also, the 26th of Jared Mann is the same way. We've seen these two are flawless and great on executing long runs.
We'll see if we got a long run here as we go long pedal down the straightaway. Sperling back out in front. Sibbett up to P2 on that restart. Rope in the top side. Winker looking down low. We're going one by one by two by two. Saw Winker get back up. Jared Mann gave him room. Jared Mann dove back down to the bottom. We've seen him wrap at the bottom. Oh, here we go. The battles are heating up. Is that Austin Turner fighting? Austin Turner up to P3. Closing in on Sibbett. Has to check a big checkup for Winker. Caution's back out again.
Another caution, another bit of a spin around. Let's see if we can catch. I think the 15 of Hockley's definitely involved. Then let's see if we can take a little peek here. What happened? Ooh, a big stack up. Oh, the 12 of Griffin goes around. All right, let's reshift here. We're gonna go with the 12 of Chris Griffin here. I think he gets a little bit of assistance here hitting into turn one. Here we go. You see ahead of him. See behind him the 5, behind the 12, the 85 on the outside. The 12's trying to get down to the bottom. The 5 tries to drive it in under the corner, gets into the 12, and it's just bumper cars from then on in. We're going to catch another view here. We're going to catch who hits the 5. So here you go. You see him hit the 12. He's having to check up. The 15 gets him. The 18 gets the 2. The 62 gets the 18. I mean, it's just what we said. It's just there's really nowhere for you to go. You're going to keep stacking them in here. You see right there, bumper cars between these 6 right here, everybody getting into each other. The 62 of Creech also involved there. Let's see if we can catch a cockpit view real quick off the 62 of Creech. Here we go, get a little bit earlier here. Here we go, we're going to drive it on in here. Then in turn 1, you see Hockley actually got a little loose off the corner. They're able to hold on to it, but this has had nowhere to go. There's nowhere for the 62 of Creech to go. He just has to follow in by the wall and hope he doesn't damage the truck too much.
We're just trying to make this a compact truck race. That's all. Shortening up the beds on these trucks as we start to see the field pacing around here. I want to know in chat. I know Abby Payne is a frequent player of fantasy sim racing, which again will be a key component of the All-Star race later this season. Abby, give us a shout out. Who do you got on top of your fantasy picks for this week here at North Wilkesboro? Because it sure has been entertaining. Again, the field getting re-lined up. Jesse Sperling still the leader. Don't be confused with Chris Griffin currently in front of him as he'll get the wave around past the pace truck. And we'll get back settled in. Doubled up. Michael, we're not even halfway yet, bud.
It's definitely going to be a long night for most of these drivers. They're just wanting to get a stretch where they can just go green and click off some laps. I kind of same thing with road course. I feel like short tracks are a big rhythm track, you know. You're constantly hitting the same mark over and over again. You do that a lot of tracks, but it's so quick here to short track that it's super important to get into a rhythm, get that almost methodical way of, okay, right here. I mean, just hitting your marks every lap the exact same time, hitting that consistent lap time that you're thinking of, not having to constantly go, like we talked about earlier, going for qualifying laps. You're trying to hold on positions, fight off everybody who's ultra aggressive behind you trying to get ahead of you, and you not trying to overdrive the truck to hurt it later in the run. But I mean, it's just that these guys are begging for a green run to where they can get, like I said, in that rhythm, get a sense of how really these trucks can go. And a lot of these long run guys are looking forward. But we've seen Sperling and Jared Mann, obviously the two I keep picking on. I'll always focus on the long run guys. They've done well here in these short sprints, but holding on.
Long run, short sprint, doesn't matter. We're going back green. We'll see how it plays out from here. Sperling leads him back to the green flag. Sibbett this time pushing hard on the outside all the way up to the wall. You see Austin Turner taking a look down low, but he's not going to have the run. But Sibbett has the momentum on the high side. Sibbett to the lead. Sperling down low.
Just is going to have to fight here on the bottom. He's going to try to just roll the truck. Don't get over Inks and try to hurt that truck more. There we go. He's going to see him concede the spot there, the 43 of Sibbett. He's going to keep hanging tough. Actually going to go up. He's going to go up into the higher groove and start trying to work on that higher line we've been talking about. Jared Mann on the bottom there, the 16 of Austin Turner, still trying to find his spot here, trying to get in his rhythm. The 58, the Fruity Pebble Machine has returned with his brother, Jason Baker. We have a caution. I believe it's the 18. Oh! A little bit of damage here aboard the 18 machine. Let's see if we can catch what happened. Oh, he just got it loose. Let's see who catches him. No one. I think Duna just tried to lock down the brakes, trying to avoid it. There we go. We got cockpit here aboard the 18. We'll try to see when he gets this thing loose here. Maybe I think it's in the braking that we've been talking about. Yeah, he's just trying to get the truck slowed down way a little bit of a. You actually saw a little bit of a checkup ahead of him. Here we go. Watch the 3 of Seth Owens ahead of him. That morphin' time Fraser in front of you. You see how fast he closes. He's just on the brakes super hard. Gets the truck unsettled, and he goes up here to the fence. We're gonna try to see if we can catch aboard. Here's Emil Duna. You see him coming around here in a second. You see Tyler Spry there out by the fence, ripping the fence, rubbing a little bit of the paint off of that right side. Here we go. You're gonna see him roll here. You're gonna see McKinney get loose right there. Let's see. Oh, maybe a little bit of assistance. Let's see if we can catch a better view.
See if we look out of the truck bed a little bit there. Ooh. Maybe a little help trying to lock him up there.
You see Brian Torrey right there. Yep, just a little bit of assistance is going to get the 14 around. I don't think it's going to be anything too egregious, but definitely is not happy to come down to pit road to try to work on some damage. You'll see just how fast he has to get off pit road if he even chooses to. You see right there. Here comes the pace truck coming around. Get a view on pit lane here.
Looking at that, Michael, I just got to say we have some of the best viewers out of any broadcast. Abby Payne just gave us a full breakdown. She feels that if we keep the long run, Green, Sperling, and Sibbett will compete and drag each other for P1, which could post a way for Mann, or even a Baker brothers stealing the draft. So there you go. We got a full race analysis from our viewers. Others, feel free to chime in. It's awesome to see what all of you are thinking and what you're picking up as we see the field rolling off pit road.
I think she's definitely trying to get us fired, trying to get predictions. Hopefully she's not right, otherwise they're going to fire us here as we actually went green while we were sitting there trying to get it settled up. Caleb Sibbett takes a point here. You see Austin Turner underneath the 29 of Jesse Sperling. As we roll on here, 43 Caleb Sibbett gets clear. This way stacked up here behind Sperling, Turner, Mann, Baker, Schaefer, and Winker all here fighting for the right to get up to P2.
The battles indeed are a-brewing here. Now we're over that 100-lap mark, 107 to be exact, going to 115. Caleb Sibbett pacing the field as we watch the battle here. Sperling, P2, and now there goes Joshua Baker looking underneath Austin Turner. Fruity Pebbles looking for the milk as we wrap around here on lap 108.
He's definitely sitting in that truck. I think I may be hearing a yabba dabba doo as he rips the bottom here. The 58 continuing to charge ahead and make grooves up. The 58 of Joshua Baker right behind him. The brother, the 85 of Jason Baker. They've been doing well on that bottom line. We've been talking about how it's been effective. Oh, and as I said, the 85 gets loose, able to hold on to it. He is. Jason Baker holds on. No contact there. Just lost a couple spots. Still hanging down there on the bottom. Up ahead, though, Jesse Sperling is 7/10 off the 43 of Caleb Sibbett. We'll continue to watch on. We heard this battle, the 58, the 16, the 26, and the 00, all fighting for P3. And a good battle behind, including the 51 of Patrick Schaefer involved with this one.
Good battles indeed as stage 2's winding up. Nothing like, ooh, Schaefer loose, wiggles it. Creech gives it.
Oh, boy, hold on to it. Oh, boy. We're about to have something go down here. You can see how much damage Schaefer has on the right front of that truck. Creech just doesn't want to bleed the spot that he's bleeding here. He's trying to get that truck underneath him to go make the move. Continue to watch on here. Schaefer, that truck is just unsettled. It's just no good way to drive that 51 machine. Just trying to hold on here for his spot. He's trying to hold on to that top 10 at the end of the stage. Creech is now going to roll to the outside. He'll clear the 51 there. The 2 of Sundera behind them. Looking a little bit further ahead, though, the 00 of Winker still racing with the 16 of Austin Turner. And Jared Mann's looking underneath the 00 now. The 58 starting to close in a little bit on Jesse Sperling. Jesse a second off of Caleb Sibbett, who is still leading this race with 2 laps left to go here in the stage.
Great excitement here in North Wilkesboro at the end of stage number 2 as we watch this battle between Winker and Jared Mann. Now Winker looking down low, cutting off Mann, looking underneath Austin Turner. Austin Turner up high, Kevin Winker down low, almost side by side down the straightaway. Austin Turner still with the position as they head off into the corner.
Continue to see a great race here between these two. They continue to battle side by side. Continuing, here we go. We see the 00 looking underneath the 16 again. Jared Mann really has nowhere to go. He's kind of just trying to get a line with one of these two, want someone to clear so he can go and take his shot now underneath or above one of them. You can see to watch on here. Oh, contact. Oh, the 00 sliding at the end of the stage. Oh, gets the 16. Here we go.
Wow.
Woo!
What a drift to end stage 2. Holy cow. Caleb Sibbett couldn't see any of that, but I don't think he minds, Michael. That's a stage win for Caleb Sibbett.
That is indeed our stage 2 winner, the 43 of Caleb Sibbett, who is definitely happy to see that stage in, and he's immediately coming to pit road.
Immediately coming to pit road. We'll keep it on Caleb Sibbett here as we make the pit stop because we want to grab him as soon as he clears pit road. Again, Vickers Auto Parts is our stage winner sponsors. They did sponsor the stage 1 winner. Again, with the caution right before that did not allow us an opportunity to jump in, but we will try to grab Caleb here in just a second. Again, such an exciting finish. And actually, this is a great chance, Michael, for people to watch what we were talking about, that long, slow pit road as they roll through their Caleb Sibbett, Jesse Sperling, both making their stops. Again, what an exciting end to the stage for these guys. Caleb Sibbett maybe not so exciting, a second out in front, but nonetheless, a great stage win. And now that Caleb has cleared pit road, we will see if we can get a quick word with Caleb. Caleb, it's Troy and Michael up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yep, I got you.
We know the pace laps are short here, so we'll keep it quick. Great win. Congratulations on the Vickers Auto Parts Stage 2 win. What do you got in store for the field the rest of the way?
Yeah, just trying to keep it up front. I got a penalty last pit stop, so had to get to the back, work my way up to the front there, and yes, a lot funner up front and stay out of the cautions. Hopefully it goes green. I think I got surprisingly something for him here. I was kind of doubting it right when the race started, to be honest with you.
All right, well, congratulations on the stage win. Best of luck. And Dad says, good stage win, son.
Awesome, thank y'all.
Ladies and gentlemen, your Vickers Auto Parts Stage 2 winner, Caleb Sibbett. Vickers is a business of Jesse Sperling's granddad, Bub Vickers. Started up in the 50s. New and used parts for all makes and models. Priced as good, priced as used, good as new. Located at 914 South Alabama Boulevard, Highway 221, Chesney, South Carolina. And they ship anywhere in the country. Call them at 864-461-2621. Vickers Auto Parts, your stage win sponsor. Well, just like that, Michael, an ad read, and we're back under green. This time, Seth Owens on the point.
That's right, turn and burn. We go right back to it. The 3 of Seth Owens is now going to take the lead of this race with the 5 of Derek Grisby on his outside. You'll see the 3 is going to clear here. The 43 of Caleb Stewart, your stage 2 winner on those sticker tires. Could go right to work. Maybe the 3 and the 5 maybe took a 2-tire stop there. We'll have to see if we can pull up the pylon, try to see the pit stop. Last pit stops. There we go. We're going to watch on. Caleb Stewart's going to take away P2. Now he's got his eyes set on the 3 ahead. Jesse Sperling on the bottom there. He's going to try to roll and get P3 away from the 5. You see these two working behind. Then the 3 of Seth Owens still trying to run away from the 43. The 43 goes high. The 29 goes low on that bottom. He will clear the 5 of Grigsby. And now we have Manu Manu. The 43 and the 29 are going to face each other while they both try to run down the 3 ahead of them.
Megatron says, I'm going to stay up here as long as I can. Sibbett says, I felt good after that second stage. I want to be back out in front. Here we go. Lap 122 approaching only the halfway mark as you see Joshua Baker slide out of the corner there, getting another position. But here goes Sibbett. Look underneath Owens. Sperling up high behind Owens. Sibbett has the momentum. Back to the point, Caleb.
Caleb Sibbett takes the lead. Here comes Jesse Sperling. A big dive there in the turn 3. Trying to go make the move to get inside that corner pit of the 43. He doesn't get it. Seth Owens wiggles. Hold on to it, Seth. Hold on to it. He's able to hold on to it, but he's going to cost him a few more spots ahead. The 43 is Sibbett in the wall. Here comes the 29 of Sperling trying to reel him back in. We saw these two. You can look here on the left side of your screen. The tire of the last pit lap. You can see Grigsby and Owens last pitted at 103. Everybody else on those brand new sticker tires up here in the top 10. They're going to make great use of them, go and put them to work and get ahead of those slower traffic. But the 43-year limit, but the 29 of Jesse Sperling's not going to go away easy. He's going to do everything he can to try to go get that point back.
Sibbett and Sperling, the SNS show out front right now as they're ripping around. You see Joshua Baker looming a little ways back, but he's there. We know he had speed earlier on. But Sibbett, Sperling, roping the top side. Meanwhile, if we look not too far back, if you look back at Austin Turner, he's starting to approach Grigsby. He's got Jared Mann three wide there. Here we go. And that's tight racing here at North Wilkesboro. They thin it out to 2x2 as they head out the straightaway. Baker loose again down low. Jason holds on to it, stays underneath Austin Turner. Austin Turner behind Jared Mann. What excitement as we get back in the pack.
And 3 wide here definitely going to catch my attention if I hear that from my spotter. I mean, this is so tight of an X on these corners. You don't know how the guys. Oh, Jason Baker loose again. Did he hold on to it? Yes, he did. Able to keep it green, but Jason Baker continues to slide. The truck does not like being on the bottom. I think he's maybe trying to throttle it up a little early, trying to make up ground on the bottom. His truck is not going to cooperate here, and you can see him. He went for a slide again. Now he's back here with the 12 of Chris Griffin all the way back to P15 for the 85.
Baker put down a couple extra miles on those tires as we get back here looking at Seth Owens. Seth Owens trying to hang on. He's got some more company coming behind him. Again, restarted up front, made a little bit of a gamble move, but now falling back to about P8, trying to hang on to the top 10. But here we go. The energy's ramping up. Michael, we are just past halfway. Tires are going to be the thing as we see another wobble. Schaefer, Griffin, another wobble behind them. Was that Baker again getting loose? No, Baker's in front of them. Everybody's getting loose coming out of the corners here.
We have a caution out. We're going to find out who went for a ride. I think it's the 15 of Hockley. Do you see a good bit of damage there aboard the 15 machine? We'll reel it back here and try to see what went on there. Take a look here. There we go. We're going to ride with the 15 here. Behind that group of Schaefer, you saw him get it loose. Locks it down. Just rolls to the bottom, and with him being down there on the apron, it's going to end up throwing the caution. So it's a spinner, but it is going to draw out the caution because he was close enough to the racing surface for them to throw it.
Anytime I see a truck in reverse, I know something good didn't happen. It's great. Michael, let's take a quick view at Emil Duna's truck. I know he's had a rough night. He's a few laps down right now, but the chat's shouting out the sweet paint job for Emil Duna. So definitely want to make sure we give him a shout out from those that are watching. Calling out that sweet paint job. Maybe a little bit of texture added to it throughout the course of this evening.
Definitely a little bit of, shall we call it, extra seasoning is what we're going to call it, that one right there. Definitely a little bit of extra seasoning there on the 14 machine. We'll try to see if we can maybe get a better view here. Maybe try to catch a little bit of a better view. We'll try our best. Get you a better angle on it here. Let's see what we get here. You can see the Fisher's machine, a couple of fire and ice all over this truck.
Fire and ice. I think that is like the perfect analogy for this evening at North Wilkesboro. We are on fire and then we are cold as ice. The tires may be sliding that ice at times. I think that fits this evening perfectly as we see the field all stacked up. I think we go back to the front. The pace truck is going to lead them around side by side. I think we are. The lights are still on, so maybe we're not quite ready to go back green.
But while we have a second, why don't we take a gander at some of these paint schemes we got through the field here? Got a couple of different ones that we've seen so far tonight, including one of your favorites.
I love the Fruity Pebbles, not going to lie. I'm kind of hungry at this point. It adds to it. You see Joey Creech outside of him. I love the rims of Joey Creech's truck. I love when colors pop. Jared Mann in those familiar colors. Derek Grigsby out there. What a great job. These guys do a great job getting things set up for all of you to watch every single week. We love seeing them. Obviously, Austin Turner there. I believe it's Austin's first race with us this season, so first time we get to see those colors. But right now, the colors we're going to see are green as it's waving, and we're underway.
Back to green, and you'll see Caleb Sibbett there is going to get the jump. No, I'm looking. I think Caleb Sibbett's in a van machine. We're going to get fired. We didn't mention that one. You see it right there on the hood. Clear as day, the VAN, the Veterans and Affiliated Network, aboard the 43 machine this evening. Behind him, the 29 of Jesse Swirling is going to continue to try to go and mount that comeback to go get that spot, number 1 spot back from him. You've seen Sibbett. We've seen him be so fast here up on this high line, and Swirling. Oh, contact the Fruity Pebbles machine around. Oh, a big stack up.
Up. Oh, boy, we overfilled the bowl.
I think you got a little bit too excited there.
I think somebody stuck the spoon in a little too hard, and we overflowed.
Let's see if we can catch a few here. You see the 58 machine and that Fruity Pebbles machine, the 62 of Creech underneath them. A little bit of contact there on that left rear quarter panel, and Austin Turner has once they, like I said, nowhere to go, so he just goes right through the back of the 62, which then throws him into the 58 of Joshua Baker again. So here we go, catch one more time. This 62 of Joey Creech. You see he's trying to get that positioning. This slides up a little bit too high to get the 58. The 16 just bumps right into the 62 to try to get away from it, but there's really nowhere for him to go, so he just ends up bumping there into the 62, not able to get that car checked up in time.
Yeah, again, turns 1 and 2, Michael. That double apex, you go in hard. That first one's inviting, but you still have to make the second one. And I think that's where you start to see the truck slide up a little bit. A lot of action going on, so it is very, very exciting as we roll around here. Great views. I love these views that we have. Great production as we look at Caleb Sibbett in that van truck pacing the field here at lap 140 at North Wilkesboro.
With that being said, we're going to go ahead and try to give a little shout out to our home company here. Are you a veteran or a first responder looking to try to get into iRacing? Trying to make a couple of paint schemes like the one that we clearly missed so far this evening here at North Wilkesboro? You want to hop in the trucks, go rip it around here with these guys, maybe another car, next gen, O'Reilly, maybe you're more of a road course guy. We got GT3s and anything else that you could possibly dream of. I know, Troy, yourself, you're a dirt man. We have that available as well. But if you want to get some more information and looking to get your hands onto anything and everything iRacing, we got news for you. Veterans and Affiliated Networking. That is VAN, or VAN for short. If you have any questions, please reach out to veteransandaffiliated@gmail.com for any questions or information. We would love to give it to you. Any help, anything at all. Other than that, if you have any more insights, leave a comment anywhere on this video. We'll once again reach out to you there. Just remember, don't run, don't wreck, stay in the race, and get in the van.
We may not have chemistry, but we have personality, and personality says we're green flag racing side by side as we see Sperling hard to the outside of Sibbett.
Jesse Sperling saw his shot. He went for it. He rim rode around 1 and 2, trying to get every bit of momentum he could for the backstretch. Sibbett able to hold on there. You see Jared Mann's gone up another spot. Now him at the P3. 3 white trucks pace this field. Which one of them is going to end up here at the front? We still have about 107 laps to go, so still plenty of time for more chaos and anarchy to unfold. But still your leader, the 43 of Sibbett, Jesse Sperling behind him, trying to make up ground. The 26 of Jared Mann behind him, and Austin Turner holding his own back here. The newcomer, I believe we both agree he is a newcomer here. The 16 of Austin Turner has been having such a great night. Caution's out.
Caution is out. Mike, I was just going to, when we dialed the replay, going to say, you said, we had those 3 white trucks up front. The good news is you should always race next to somebody with the same color paint scheme as you, because if you hit them, the mark won't be as noticeable. That's my philosophy on short track racing, at least.
It's definitely a good idea. I think we're going to see some 3 wide here. I believe Christopher Hockey's going to get the worst out of this for a while long here. You see the 15. You see Seth Owens get split with the 85, but Baker on his outside. Hockey's trying to roll that bottom like we've seen a lot of these guys do. Schaefer gets loose. Oh, Patrick Schaefer just gets it loose and collects the 15 there. Oh, just not the night that Christopher Hockley has been looking forward to having. We've seen him get tangled in quite a few instances here. We're going to ride on board here. You'll see the 51 right behind him, Patrick Schaefer. He's going to put that pedal down, gets it loose, comes back over, and just wiggles one more time, which ends up catching the 15 of Hockley.
Shake it once, that's fine. Shake it twice, it's okay. Shake it 3 times, you're going to collect a friend. And that's what happened coming down the straightaway there.
Ooh, I think actually
You know, I think there's a couple guys, Michael, tonight that have probably had a little bit more action than they had hoped for. Just a lot of breaking free. Oh, look at that, Chris Griffin hitting the wall there. Everything has a compounding effect as you go through. It's the first bobble isn't so bad, but oh, pretty pebbled into the wall. That's rough.
It's definitely not what a lot of these guys are looking for, and we saw Caleb Sibbett talking about it. You know, when he said to come back out, you know, he doesn't want to go in the back where all the cautions. We've seen it happen. I mean, it's a tough track, especially with how they do how the banking is. You know, you have to try to load up everything for the straightaways to make up your ground, and the way it is, it's really easy to get this truck to just snap on you. There's no feeling of where you can kind of feel it loose and maybe try to wiggle and try to save it. I mean, once it goes, I mean, it's going around for the most part. I mean, you can almost drift it through the corner and try to just sit there and hold it, but you're at a short track. You're not going to get patience from the guys behind you. They're going to either, if they try to check up, they're going to get bumped and they're going to bump into you. So there's no really way for you to get out of it once you're gone. So, I mean, you're riding on the fine line to be fast. And if you go over that edge, you're going to end up paying the price.
Will end up paying the price if you push too hard. But right now, the price for Caleb Sibbett is to pace the field with Jesse Sperling out front. We're going to crank it up here and let you guys listen to some loud trucks as we're back on the green. Caution comes out. What a great thing. That was amazing to watch that crank it up. As we get dialed back in and get reset, we'll get a look to see if we can see what brought out the caution for you. But while Michael dials that up, Michael, that was a great view off the side of Caleb Sibbett's truck, how close he was to the wall. You actually saw the camera go into the wall with how close he was pushing that line.
Yeah, with iRacing, if you do get that camera a little close to the wall, what it is kind of glitch its way through it. We're going to try to see if we can catch what happened here on this caution. Try to see if we can catch any kind of activity that catches our eye here. We're right now looking at the 6-2 at Joey Creech. And well, sadly, it's the man of the hour. Oh, big contact there. I actually saw Christopher Hockley, the man of the hour, I believe the last few cautions, who's been caught in a couple dances, shall we say. We're going to watch once more here with the 15. You see the 18 of Jerry McKinney on the high side there. 12 of Chris Griffin there with him as well. The 15 is going to roll the bottom here. The 18 takes it all the way up to the fence. The 15 trying to drive it off there. Oh, I think the 18 has got a little bit loose. Try to see if we can catch it. I think he gets a little loose and actually catches the 15. Yep, he gets a little loose. The 15 is trying to come up the track and just gets bumped up there into the fence. And actually the 18 goes flying down the pit road. He may have a speeding penalty, but the 11 of Tyler Spry also catching him at the end of this wreck here. He just rolls right into the 15 there. One more time, a little bit of contact there with the wall. Here we go, rolling down the back stretch on full throttle. Sees a little bit of a bump. And you see him just no time to get that truck slowed down. It goes right into the nose of the 15.
Like, let's see if we can get a view real quick with Chris Griffin during that. I think he was right behind Jerry McKinney. And I think just as Jerry McKinney was trying to save the truck, Chris Griffin might have locked up with him, and it might have gave him just a little extra momentum to get in to Hockley.
Let's see if we can.
Effect might have been in full effect there. We'll see.
Let's see if we can get a view off the tailgate here of the 18. Let's see if we can do that. So we should get it right about here. It may be. I don't know. It may just be another, like we saw earlier. Maybe there's a little bit of that kiss, just a little bit more momentum that ends up doing it over.
Nonetheless, we've got excitement rolling back here into green. We'll have 158 at North Wilkesboro. Sibbett, Sperling, side by side. It's become a frequent sight here this evening.
Indeed, it's hard to keep up with all the action and the wrecks. Just how fast we said the pace laps are. You see how fast they click off, back going green again. No real time for you to really reset your mind. You know, as soon as you get rolling and caught back up the field, it's about time to drop the flag and go right back at it again. But we see another great battle of these two. The 29, the 43 continue to go at each other. Seth Owens is rebounded up to P3 right there. The one of Taylor Lockwood in P4. But all eyes are on the front here as Jesse Sperling gets the run. Let's see what he does with it here. He's going to continue to roll that high line up there. Nice. Oh, wall contact is going to knock off some momentum. It does. It kills momentum with the 29. The 43 back up in front. We'll see as Jesse continues to try to work it. Let's see where he goes. Looking to try to get that spot back. Back to the bottom. You see Caleb Sibbett now rolling the bottom nice and smooth. Not really opting up for that high line we saw him run for most of the race. And here comes Seth Owens, maybe trying to work on underneath the 29 at Jesse Sperling. He's starting to look around for maybe find some speed. Jesse Sperling still on that high line there. Here comes the 3 trying to work maybe underneath of him. Get a better view on there. But look, these two start to go on. Jesse Sperling P2, Seth Owens P3. You see Lockley on the high line outside Joshua Baker in the 85 machine. He continues to rebound. Had a couple spins throughout this race, but continues to make up spots and bring himself back up here. Austin Turner P6, Jared Mann P7. They're still hanging around. Patrick Schaefer is still alive and breathing. He's P8 in the 51 machine behind this group. You'll see that green truck right there, the green and white machine there behind this group. And Derek Grigsby in P9 and Robert Wojcik in rounding out your top 10.
Jason Baker clears Taylor Locklear to take over that position. See him slide down to the corner. We've seen a lot of guys. Jared Mann now. And the caution is out.
Caution is out, and I believe it's on the 12. I'm trying to see if maybe we can catch what happened. I don't know, maybe we had another incident like we had last week. Maybe he blinked. Let's see if I can catch it. Nope, I think we're going to get it all here. Here we go. To the 12 of Chris Griffin right here, kind of all by himself. Let's see if it's a self-spinner. Oh, just rides up into the fence. I think he may have had technical difficulty. You see the wheel right there stuck at turning to hard right. We're going to try to see if we can get it.
I'm going to guess that there was probably a technical glitch there. The way that he is going down the straightaway and then hugs the wall and keeps the wheel turned to the right. Generally a move, if you're on the high side, that you're going to do when you're having computer problems to try to stay out of everybody's way. I'm going to guess, just based off of how his wheels were turned, like you said, Michael, that he may have had a computer issue.
I think so. We see he actually ends up, I think he does tow there, so Chris Griffin takes himself off of the racetrack. Oh, no, maybe he's still sitting there. He is still sitting there, so maybe a network difficulty. We'll keep an eye on it. He is currently now.
It did bring the caution out. We do know that it brought the caution out. And again, I mean, that's great respect from Chris Griffin to try to make sure it doesn't ruin anybody else's race. A lot of times, you know, you can't see anything when that happens, if that's indeed what took place. So you just try to keep it out of the way and not collect anybody else. While we're rolling under caution, though, I just want to look at some of the stats behind the scenes that you guys can't see. Obviously, a lot of moving and shaking. Jesse Sperling has the fastest lap, for those that are wondering right now, according to the data that we have. But interestingly enough, Derek Grigsby, who we've talked a little bit about throughout the race, has a lot of the fastest average times as far as the middle of the run. And as we get longer into the run, he definitely is showing some fast speeds in the average category. So it'll be interesting to see how this all plays out as the race goes on. Grigsby currently sitting in P11, so he's got a little bit of work to do. But sitting P1 right now, Seth Owens is going to lead Jared Mann into the restart zone, and we're going to go back underway here at North Wilkesboro.
Back to green. Here we go. The 3 of Seth Owens. I'm actually going to draw your attention as you look a little bit further back. You'll see the 43 and the 29 both lost some spots there. They're currently right now P7 and P8 between the two of them, so maybe went up.
Let's go take a look at Jason Baker. I think he just lost some spots at the outside wall, if I saw the correct truck there.
Caution once more. We'll go looking once more again. Oh! Some hard contact's going to be incoming here from the 85. You see the 51 of Schaefer underneath them. Oh, gets it loose and overcorrects up into the fence. We've seen it a couple times tonight. No, a little bit more actually afterwards. Oh, Sundar with a big hit there. One more draw on the back here. You see him. See if we can catch a view of his hands. Like getting a view of those hands as they get these trucks loose here. Here it goes. Here's the restart. We're on board. Gonna ride aboard here. Here we go. We'll see him head here in turn 1. Gonna ride that higher line. Keep feeding the wheel input like we talked about earlier. Gets it loose and it gets it to come right back up. I believe that checkup is what ends up getting him spun as a couple of cars go around behind him, including the 5 of Derek Grigsby. We'll look there next. Here's the 5 of Grigsby. We're looking for here. You see Sundaris back here, the 74 of Brian Torrey, the 62 of Joey Creech, all back here as well. Let's see if we can catch an eye for what happens here. Oh, Mickey's trying to get down and get away from the wreck. He ends up hooking the 5. I think Mickey actually ends up getting the worst out of that wreck. You'll see Mickey's going to go for quite a ride here. Right there, Screech gets in the back. He catches the barrel and goes flying on the pit lane. I'm just going to catch a look here with Joey Creech. He's trying to check up, gets in the back of the 2. He ends up snaking through with not too much damage. And, of course, the 74 of Ryan Torrey also here into this one. He's also going to get a little bit. He gets Thundera when he's headed to pit lane to get him, and he goes head first into the wall heading into turn 3.
I think the tough guy award tonight has to go to those barrels at the end of pit road. Duna sat down on them earlier. Sundera just got a little visit, not quite sitting on them, but maybe kind of side swiping them. And they're still standing tough, just like the field as they roll back into turns 3 and 4. This time, Jared Mann on point, Seth Owens on the outside, Austin Turner, Taylor Locklear, Patrick Schaefer, Jesse Sperling, Caleb Sibbett. You can see the field as they go back racing. Jared Mann now on point.
Back to green. Jared Mann is going to lead this field to green 1 and 2. He's going to take that middle high line there. We've seen a lot of these guys end up taking the high line just because it's a little bit faster. Wears the tires a little bit, but it is faster. You see him. Here we go. Down at the bottom here in 3 and 4. The 3 of Seth Owens opting for that high side. Jesse Sperling's going to end up being 3 wide here. Further back in the pack, still 3 wide. Locklear on his outside. Joshua Baker on his inside. Hold on, boys. This is going to get tight. He's going to clear Locklear. He does. Sperling clears Locklear. After a little bit of contact with the 58, I thought it was going to happen because we've seen these guys slide that truck up there into turn 1. And they end up getting close to get into the doors. Still side-by-side tight racing between the 29 and the 58. Now he's behind Schaefer. Jesse's got to be careful not to go hurt that truck, trying to go make up spots here. I think he feels like he's faster, so you can't put yourself in a bad spot and hurt the truck. Trying to get spots. There you go. You can see he's going to follow the 58 underneath the 51 here. The 51 on that high side. Jesse Sperling working in the, you see right behind him, the 43 of Caleb Sibbett. Oh, Jesse gets turned. Still green. I don't know how much longer.
Ooh,
another round. Oh,
Caution
piled
will be
in.
out.
Jesse Sperling still getting pushed there. The Dozier is going to give him some assistance as they row right there around pit road. We're going to see if we can catch a replay there.
I know they were at least 4 wide as they were collecting. I don't know if we got to 5, but I know that that's not enough room here at North Wilkesboro.
You see, this starts right here. 29 Jesse Sperling is going to work underneath the 51 of Patrick Schaefer. just, I think a little bit of net code got him, and that gets them two together. The 51 is trying to go down. He has the 00, and it just compounds. Truck shoveled in here. Gonna see Caleb Civic gets away clean. One of Locklear gets hit by the 93 of Wojcik, and the 00 stays in the door of the 51, which then just packs Jesse to go and collect up. We're actually going to ride on board with Jesse here. Here we go. Riding aboard the 29 of Jesse Swirling, trying to follow the 58 through. You see, he can't see Schaefer to his outside, gets him there. You'll see he's going to get spun around here now. He's going to end up catching Locklear. He just stays sideways, so continues to get rolled here. Finally comes to a rest right there on pit lane exit. Puts in reverse. It gets that truck rolling around again. I'm interested to see how much damage these guys got and is actually back off pit road. So Jesse Sperling's enough to keep on rolling. He continues to go. Maybe he's a fast repair there. I'm trying to see maybe catch the right side that had a good bit of damage. I think he did. That truck looks pretty clean. Feel free to give me your input there, Troy.
It looks pretty clean. Looks like he's rolling pretty good as he's going to get caught back up to the field. So, like you said, maybe a fast repair there. If you have one still on lap 179, probably thankful you do. You might still want to have one on lap 249, depending on how things shake out. But the field reset, we can see Chris Griffin was able to reconnect. So great to see Chris back out here as he gets the wave around. Jared Mann, though, on point. Austin Turner is going to restart to his outside. Great run for Austin tonight. Worked his way through the field, battled up here. And again, I think one of the most exciting things about short track racing, Michael, is that we get to see a lot of different players throughout the course of the night. Like, yes, there's a lot of attrition. Yes, there's some bumping, banging, some hurt trucks. But we get to see a lot of different strategies, a lot of different drivers, and a lot of different drivers are boiling down to the last 70 laps here as we're back under green at North Wilkesboro.
Back to green. Jared Mann's going to take this back with you. See Austin Turner going straight up into the wall there, heading to turn one, trying to get every bit of ground. Everybody wants to go lead the race, especially with how many cautions we keep seeing over and over again. If you can get control of it, like Jesse Sperling in that first stage, if you just keep getting these pace laps, you just cruise your way here towards the end and get that best spot to be in the best spot towards the end of the race when you have that position to go and make the restart decision on when to go. But you see Jared Mann's going to fight tooth and nail to hold on to that spot. He knows how important it is. After last season, multiple time winner last year, we know Jared knows how important that number one spot is to hold on to, especially as we start working our way later into this race. I'm not going to say winding down this race. We still have about 70 laps to go, so it's going to feel like forever. Excuse me. We continue to watch on here.
It might feel like forever, but every lap counts. You got to be there at the end. And that means you have to get to lap 183 right there, and now lap 184 to be there at lap 250 as we see Joshua Baker. Look, Caleb Sibbett now diving down low. Caleb Sibbett with a run underneath Joshua Baker. Side contact. A little bit of love and touch as they roll through the corner. All this behind Austin Turner. Austin Turner says, that's okay. I'm content riding behind Jared right now as Joshua Baker now holds the position over Caleb Sibbett. All this happening inside the top five.
Yep, we've seen these two continue to battle. Caleb Sibbett continue to march his way up towards the front. Austin Turner, what a great run for him. He's continued to show great speed through here, continue to keep that pace pushed ahead there. The 16 continue to do well, but the 58, we've seen a couple of these Baker boys having to come back up through the field a couple times tonight. The 58 included. He's had a couple spins, a couple of instances of trouble there, but they have all rebounded back. I do want to draw your attention, Troy. We only have 9 cars on the lead lap right now. Obviously, if you do end up getting in trouble late in this race, I don't think it's going to be too bad of a punishment as you only be in the top 10, which is what is deemed as successful.
Yeah, absolutely. 9 trucks on the lead lap. And here's the thing. This is why you continue to race, especially at these short tracks. Even if you're a lap 2, 3 down as we get the yellow flag in, you never know when somebody else is going to have a wreck that puts them out of the race. Those are all positions that you can gain. But if you don't stick around, if you don't log the laps, you'll never know. So we'll get a replay here of our latest caution at North Wilkesboro.
Trying to see if we can catch what happened. Oh, there it is right there. Give me the 3 of Seth Owens. Let's see. Maybe he's going to go for a ride here. The cockpit view. Try to see if we can catch these hands here as we go into 3 and 4. Here we go, riding on board the 3 of Seth Owens. A little hard in the brakes, gets the back end of that truck around. Little bump up there on the wall, but because he's out there sitting still on the track, he's going to throw that caution. So maybe a little bit of right rear corner damage. We'll try to see if maybe we can get a look. Let's see if he maybe has any damage on the back of that truck after that. Doesn't look like it. I think maybe there's actually a little bit of a kiss there. Just end up losing that truck, bring out the caution, but no actual harm done there.
No harm, no foul. You know, and a lot of what we've seen, Michael, is just the trucks getting loose. The guys have their hands full, and a lot. I don't want to say a lot of self spins. That's obviously what we saw right there. Even some of those that collect others, though, are not guys running into others or being aggressive. A lot of it is just not enough room to catch the truck when something breaks loose or you get tight, and just not enough room to chase it up the hill. So a lot of action, but that's short track racing.
Indeed, I'm gonna try to explain that a little bit, not go too technical there. But the reason we see a lot of these guys, they start locking down the brakes. You see the rears of these trucks just immediately kick out. And so that goes back to our conversation we were talking about the brake bias. If you have your brake bias a good bit lower, what it does is it actually slows the truck down faster. But what it does is it takes braking out of the rear of the truck. So it takes braking out of the rear of the truck. So it gets that back end really easy to kick back around if you start taking more brake bias out, which when we ran some practice laps here, I had my brake bias out a good bit because you want to get as much entry to the corner as you can. And in turn, if you lock them down, you're going to easily kick that truck around.
Kicking it around is what Jared Mann's going to do here as we go back to green flag racing. Austin Turner into the wall. Oh, calamity on the front stretch. Do they keep it straight? So far, still green, 3 wide. We know that's been dicey so far. The field sorts it out. We're still under green.
Still under green, still together. Here we go. A little bit of a shakeup on the standings. Jared Mann, still your leader. Joshua Baker in that Fruity Pebble machine at the P2. Caleb Sitt at P3. But as we watch on Grigsby's now, it's going to try to throw his head here at the bottom. Jesse Sperling is back up here. The 16 of Austin Turner's got a little bit of work to do to get back up there. Mickey Sundera, the 1 of Locklear. The 3 of Seth Owens on this group ahead of them. Ooh, actually see a little bit of wall contact there for the 16. I think the 5 maybe squeeze them up there a little bit. They're trying to get every bit of interest they can to this corner. You see Jesse Sperling looking around down there in that bottom line. Obviously, we believe he used that fast repair to get that truck all nice and spiffed up once more. He's out here trying to just bide his time. He still has plenty of time to the end of this race. We still have 60, about thereabouts laps left to go. I believe, I'm sorry, 56 laps to go here. So still plenty of time to get in trouble and make moves here. So I don't want to go put myself in a bad spot and go end up hurting this truck, especially Jesse, who we believe used that fast repair. You don't have any other freebies to get that truck all patched up and ready to rock and roll again. So I think the biggest thing is try to make sure you stay focused on keeping it clean. As we see the 2 of Sundera look underneath the 16 of Austin Turner here. Joshua Baker, 7/10 off your leader, Jared Mann, right now. We'll keep an eye on that battle as we watch on here. Caleb Sibbett still sitting there, P3, running his laps, but all the battles behind the front 3. It's the battle for 4th on back. The 2 and the 16 still going at it side by side as they roll here to turn 3.
Sundera, Turner, side by side. Jesse Sperling. Do you think he went to Vickers Auto Parts to get those fresh pieces to get the truck shiny? Maybe. He's rolling around trying to make his way back up. Now we see do-si-do. Sundera goes to the top side, Turner to the bottom side. They try to switch it up, but they're single file now. Again, all this happening behind Jared Mann, who has over a half a second on Joshua Baker. But this is the biggest battle on the track as we go around here, completing lap number 197, going into 198.
Yeah, we've seen continually great racing from these guys, especially up here at the front. These guys that are still alive and still able to keep running here on the lead lap. We've seen great battles of the 16 to 29. Obviously, Justice, we've seen him up front. Sundera, he's had to come front to back a couple of times. Locklear has continued to throw his hand up there. So all these guys that are still in the lead lap have shown speed and have shown themselves up at the front, able to go make some splashes. The only matter is, do you have the tire towards the end of this run to believe it? This is starting to play right into Jesse Sperling's hands. You don't have a ton of cars that we started with out here on track, so you're starting to lose bodies to go and cause those cautions or end up bringing out cautions. So now it's starting to play into the long run game that we talked about earlier on this broadcast. Jesse's really been waiting for this all race. I'm curious to see. He's pushing hard trying to get around Austin Turner here in the 16. I'm curious to see how much that helps Jared Mann. He's been sitting comfy there about 8/10. Obviously, I'm sure he's still pushing. We'll try to see if we can get a view up there maybe a little bit later when this battle cools off, if it does. But we'll try to see. Oh, actually, as I say that, Justin Sperling gets a little tight up there. A little bit of contact there with the 16. He's going to clear him. Using a little bit of 8 wheels is better than 4. Jesse Sperling's going to take away P5 right there. That'll move him back up into the top 5. Austin Turner P6 with a 5. And Grigsby trying to reel them two back in. It's a little bit of a jog up ahead. The group ahead, you can actually see there the 2 of Sundera is a little bit ahead of these guys. You see the 16 rolling up there by the fence. The 29 is going to try to power down a little bit in that lower line, try to make up some ground.
Trying to make up some ground indeed. You see Grigsby now looking underneath Turner again. Grigsby, great long run speed based off of earlier stints. A little wiggle coming out of the corner is going to slow him down this time around. But again, he's going to rope the bottom. He's got Taylor Locklear behind him. Austin Turner up high. Already the gap you could see Sperling putting on them after he got around them. Maybe a little intentional tightness to get around. Don't want to waste time. Who knows? All we know is short tracks, elbows are up, and we're past lap 200. That means our first digit matches where we need to be at the end. Now we just need to click off 47 more to get to the checkers.
That's right, and I bet a bunch of these guys here are hoping they stay green the entire way, including your leader, Jared Mann, who's actually trying to lose a little bit of time to the 58 of Joshua Baker. I'm actually going to click over to this little battle right quick. You can see Joshua still running that high line, starting to reel him back in. And Sundera actually gets around the 43 of Sibbett. We'll have to keep an eye. Maybe I wonder if these guys are starting to go in a tire save mode, or maybe they burn it up trying to run away and get away. I don't believe that to be the case with the 26 and the 43. We've seen them consistently keep their pace, keep their tempo. With the 58, we've seen him continue to run that high line and try to be aggressive on the throttle here. Obviously, we're trying to get the point for leading the lap there, but we're going to see if the 2 starts to make up ground there. As we see Sundera, he's continued to make his progress and track position back up. We saw him up here earlier this race. He continues to run strong, running that bottom line, so I think he started to realize what the other guys around him are doing. They're in that tire save mode. Don't want to hurt the truck. Want to save it a little bit later in the run to have something to go fight with if you need it. So we'll see how aggressive all these guys start to push here towards the end.
Great battle of the top 4 here. Jared Mann out front. Again, Joshua Baker starting to reel him in, but Mickey Sundera has made up a ton of ground as Sundera pushing hard on Baker now. He is there. He's on the deck lid. Sundera shading Baker down low. Baker's going to have the run off the corner. Sundera's going to set him up going into the corner. Sundera hard into the bottom side of the turn. Not quite even yet, and the caution is out again. Just as it was heating up, we see Taylor Locklear rolling around. We'll see what brought out our latest caution.
I believe it's going to be the 1. Yep, a little bit of contact there with the 16. Ends up getting him loose there. Ooh, you see him able to keep the truck down there on the bottom. We'll catch a little bit of a cockpit view. There we go, riding aboard the 1 machine. You see him working underneath Austin Turner, trying to get that truck underneath. He's going to ride it up here in the corner. The 16 trying to do the diamond technique. And the 1's just trying to hold all the ground he can with that quarter panel. It doesn't really expect him to come down that corner so soon. And ends up getting into the quarter panel. It actually doesn't end up turning the 16. It actually ends up hurting the 1, which you don't really see too much. Usually you end up seeing, especially you see right here. We'll watch on one more time. You see when he gets right up there, usually in that quarter panel, he actually gets the truck in front of him loose. It actually gets him loose. That's the way the contact was. That ends up sending the 1 down there to the bottom. That's going to bring out the caution.
Under caution here at North Wilkesboro. Again, the field pacing, thinking about what the strategy is going to be here to the end as we see a bunch of trucks rolling off pit road. See the pace truck. Ooh, gosh, that race off pit road to beat the pace truck is probably a pretty exciting one. Every single time. We caught it a few times here. Looks like we have currently 10 trucks on the lead lap. Obviously, as cautions come out, lucky dogs happen, and people can start to get back onto the lead lap. Looks like Mickey Sundera is showing a lap down right now, but Michael, explain to the folks at home what they're seeing on the pylon right now.
So what we see on the pylon here for you, we have it pulled up. So if you look on here, so you'll see that we have obviously the running position of all of your drivers, which the right side of it, you see the number. You see 210, 209, 207, 183, and all those numbers on the side. That's actually the last lap they went in for a pit stop. So usually that's a great judge on how fresh the tires are. So we look on right here, you can see Jared Mann, our leader, 210. Caleb Sibbett, 210. Jesse Sperling, lap 210. Seth Owens, 209. Grigsby, 209. You can see there's not really a lot of differentiation on when these guys went into the pits. And then you get to Burt Wojcik there in P10. He was lapped in on 189. We're actually going to go green. We got to catch that. There we go. Jared Mann's going to get the jump there into turn 1. Going back to green, we apologize. It's so fast, so hard to get information to you before they get back going again. We said it all night. Jared Mann, Jesse Sperling's brought himself back up here. And once again, that 3 white horse truck battle between Sibbett, Sperling, and Mann as they continue to race each other here as we get rolling a little bit late in this race. We're getting closer to the end, Troy. We only got 35 laps left to go next time around.
Jared Mann out in front, Jesse Sperling in tow, Caleb Sibbett. Here's what we've been talking about. Sperling sat on the pole, led a lot of laps. Sibbett won stage 2, led a lot of laps. Jared Mann likes the long run. He has told us before, he does not like short run speed. He really likes to get it dialed in. He would love to see this go green to the end, just like everybody else. When you were talking about those pit stops at lap 210, that means everybody pretty much came in under that last caution. So most of the front of the pack is on even terms, but even terms for how long? Right now, Jared Mann says the rest of the race, but Sperling, Sibbett have other plans. And, oh, by the way, Seth Owens still hanging around.
Seth Owens sitting back there in P4. A lot of these guys, just refuse to die. The mentality we talked about. Keep running that truck out there. You're going to keep getting spots. We keep getting these little accidents here and there. You see the 5 of Griggs actually behind him. Behind him, that's still the one of Taylor Locklear, who is still digging back there.
Still digging. Taylor Locklear hanging on just outside the top 5. Again, Grigsby currently sitting P5. Seth Owens P4. That's the battle right here. Not to be lost. Mann, Sperling, and Sibbett, the top 3. These guys are all single file right now, evenly matched. Tires are still the same. Everybody's pretty much following in line, staying nose to tail. Grigsby maybe a little bit different line. Taylor Locklear running a little bit higher, but most of them running the same line. If your inputs are the same, that means you're wearing about the same. At some point in time, if you want to pass the guy in front of you, you have to do something different. And out of the corner of my eye, I just saw Sperling take a little bit different line than Mann. Maybe he's starting to size him up front. These two with just a slight gap on Caleb Sibbett, but Sperling trying to track down Jared Mann.
Yeah, we've seen Jesse Sperling continue trying to rope him back in the gap right now. 4/10. We'll try to see if we can get the graphic we have usually when we try to start following these leaders. Try to see if we can catch an eye and see how the gap between these two are continuing to get maintained. Jared Mann still your leader. Jesse Sperling behind. Sibbett behind them. There's even space between these 3 trucks. Jesse Sperling's got to keep that composure, though. Don't hurt the tires trying to go run them down yet. You still got plenty of time left. You still have 29 laps to go here in this race. There's still plenty of time for you to go make up ground if you need to or you want to. So don't put yourself in a bad spot where you're going to lose the podium here at the end of this race.
Points still matter, still have to calculate the big picture, but boy is the win enticing. And right now, Sperling sees the only thing between him and a win is Jared Mann. As you see that gap, 0.4 of a second, grows a little bit here as they come out of the corner. Sperling was maybe a little bit shallower of an entry or exit than Mann, but here he goes, closes in down to 0.3 of a second. And again, lower exit than Mann, 0.3. Is he going to close more as they head off into this corner? Now, Jared Mann maybe a little bit lower, covers that lower exit, but Sperling still just a shade lower. This is going to come down to the wire. Sperling closing it even more.
Yeah, we've seen Jesse Sperling continue to gain a ton of ground there in 3 and 4. We're actually going to watch off the back deck here of the 26 of Jared Mann. Looking back, you can see Jesse Sperling. He's just a shade lower, trying to get, I think, a little bit of clean air on the nose of that truck. He's going to lose ground there. Here we go, back to 1 and 2. You saw the start-finish line right there. Jesse Sperling elects to go on the high side. Jared Mann's trying to play with his line now. He's not throwing just the same thing every time. He's going to keep trying to take away a little bit of air. Obviously, aerodynamics aren't a huge difference here, but they do add a factor that can help you try to defend that lead. So we're going to continue to see Jared Mann continue to play around his lines. Jesse can continue to do the same. Look for the clean air. Look at where he can put his truck to get that truck to get a little bit more. You saw him drive it hard there in the 1 and 2 of that diamond technique. Lost a little bit there. He's going to try to get back hard to the braking zone here in 3 and 4. Still hanging around 0.3 around that line. We saw him actually caught a little bit. Then you're going to see Jared pull it right back out there.
battling hard as we go around. Guys clicking off the laps. This is really exciting as we're going to get down to the end. We're going to get down to the battle, and we're going to see what's happening. Jared Mann out in front of Jesse Sperling as we click away the laps here at North Wilkesboro.
I believe we're having technical difficulties. Please hold. We're trying to figure out what's going on here with the feed. Give us one moment.
Field is still under green. We will get you up to speed as technology catches up. The battles are tight. The battles are fierce. It's excitement here at North Wilkesboro. Again, winding down the laps. Just about 20 laps to go. Next time by the stripe. Field on lap 230 as we speak. Out in front still is Jared Mann, followed by Jesse Sperling. The battle rages on. Close, tight battles. Again, Mann out in front. Sperling trying to chase him down. The two of them with a healthy little gap now on top of Caleb Sibbett. Caleb Sibbett waiting in the wings to see if he can reel in the top two as we come down to the finish. And we're under caution here at North Wilkesboro. Caution is still out here. We're working through some of the technical glitches. Meanwhile, we are under caution. The leaders are hitting pit road, so everybody gonna take a chance here to hit pit road with just about 17 laps left to go. Jared Mann and Jesse Sperling both on pit road as they run right now. Caleb Sibbett all on pit road. Taylor Locklear, Derek Grigsby also hit pit road. Looks like we also have Jason Baker on pit road and some others that have been out earlier. Abel Duna's on pit road, Joey Creech. Again, we're going to get you reconnected here in just a second as we work through some technical difficulties, but we want to make sure that you get to see the end of the Wilkes County 250. A lot of excitement. And I can tell you, when you come back, you're going to see a lot of moving and shaking because we have a lot of pit strategy that's now playing out in front of us. You are going to see, as we welcome you back to viewing, a lot of new order up front. As we come out of this caution, Seth Owens will be at the point. Austin Turner, P2. Jesse Sperling, P3. Caleb Sibbett, P4. Taylor Locklear, P5. Derek Grigsby, P6. Your leader heading into those pit stops, Jared Mann, will restart P7 as the pace truck dips off and the field rolls out of turn number 4. Seth Owens coming to complete lap 236, start 237. We're going to have 14 laps to go. Green flag is out. He drops to the bottom. Sperling shoots in the middle, drives up to the wall. Sperling, Turner in the wall. Sibbett through the middle, but Derek Grigsby slides underneath. All this behind Seth Owens, who chose to do strategy and restart on the point. Owens, Grigsby, here they are. We got a spin on the back. Can they save it? Joey Creech.
We saw Joey Creech a little bit of contact. It's just going to bring out the caution once more. I believe Joey Creech went around for the spin there. A little bit of contact, including the 12 of Chris Griffin. You see him parked on the wall. We'll try to see if we can go ahead and get a replay here. We excuse us for that technical difficulty. Glad we can able to get it back up here for you. Here we go. We're going to watch on here. Oh, calamity. Couple cars, 5 trucks involved. We're going to re-go back a little bit further. We're going to ride with Joey Creech here. See Joey Creech. You see all that chaos there at the start. So now they're 3 wide off. They're going to the 16. This loses a ton of spots right there. The 5's moving around. The 1 of Locklear on the bottom, the 62. You see the 16 of Austin Turner trying to go fight for some spots back. Gets into the back of the 62, who then hooks the 93. Joey Creech also catches Jared Mann in that as well. And Chris Griffin also catches a little bit of that. We're going to try to get you a different view here from the cockpit. We're going to ride on board. This is still the 62 of Creech. Here we go. You see him trying to get that truck rounded down. Gets the contact there. Sees him hook the 93. Just really can't go anywhere. He's sliding. You hear him try to lock down the brakes and trying to get that truck to stop moving, but there's nowhere for him to really run. We're also going to go one more time. We're going to ride aboard 26 of Jared Mann there. He's trying to avoid it. Just ends up getting hooked into that. A little bit of a tap there from the 62. Just trying to get the truck to calm down.
Trying to get it calmed down on a short track with less than 10 laps to go.
Easier said than done,
Come
I know.
on. Exactly. We all know there are no friends at this point in time. There might be teammates, but there are no friends. You've battled through 240 laps. You're about to complete lap 241. You're going to go green, I believe, on 242, which means you'll have 9 laps to go, 8 laps to go when I do my math the right way. You're going to have 8 laps to go under green flag racing. There's no more give. It's all take at this point in time.
I agree. I mean, we saw it last restart. You saw Jesse Sperling went for it. He was not going to be denied. Went for the very aggressive move, and I want to actually keep your eye on the 16s, the row behind them. So be ready for maybe payback if it comes down to it. Be ready for Jesse Sperling and Austin Turner to get together here at the end of this race. But right behind Sibbett and Sperling are both going to be behind the 3 and the 5 as they come around, taking the green. Here we go. A push to the end. The 3 of Seth Owens gets the jump. Let's see how it unfolds. You'll see the 3 take the lead here. Grigsby going to take the high line. He's been doing most of these restarts. Sperling on the bottom. Sibbett up high. The 1 of Locklear has brought his name into it here. Here we go to the Grigsby. Oh, got the truck to wiggle a little bit. Sperling still on the bottom here. To hold on. Seth Owens is actually maybe under attack here. The 5 underneath the 3. Here we go. We're going to see Grigsby drive down there on the bottom of that white line. Seth Owens all the way up, a little bit scrape off the wall there. As the 5's going to clear contact. 29 and the 43.
Contact, and the caution is out. Strategy call. The 29-43 been up there so much tonight. Oh, looks like the 43 was trying to anticipate getting underneath Seth Owens. Owens a little loose, not enough room. Sperling, Sibbett, nice to meet you. Outside wall, tough break for Sibbett and Sperling.
Yeah, you definitely think Sibbett's trying to get underneath him to go make the move into the next braking zone here. You see Jesse Sperling thinks he's up by the wall, so we think he has the room to come up. And this is not there, and that's what ended up getting these two together. And obviously, they're still in the fight here. I don't think it's too much damage. Maybe a little bit of door damage there, a couple of taps off the door of 29. But I don't think it's anything too egregious that'll hinder them. It's just getting back through all that aggressiveness we were talking about earlier.
Yeah, it's go time. The pay window is open, and it's time to go. Now it's going to shake it up again. You know, Jared Mann was caught up in that last wreck after getting shuffled back on those pit stops. All of a sudden, he's going to find himself restarting P4. So, again, it's going to be a reset. I think we're going to have 2 laps to go. Let's see, we're going to double file up here this time. So it's going to be close to maybe pushing overtime territory, or this might be a natural green-white checker.
I think we'll be a natural, because I think we'll double up here on this lap. We'll see if the lights go off on the pace truck. Let's see. On here, I think so. You see Seth Owens go ahead and hop to the outside fives. That should turn the lights off. It does. So we will have a natural green-white checkered here. So this is the start of... No, I lied. This is the start of 248. We ended lap 251. So this will be a 3-lap shootout, not a 2-lap shootout here. But we'll see if we're able to get to the end of it, or maybe we will dip our toes into overtime and go into extra mileage here at North Wilkesboro.
It's going to be a nail biter. If you're not on the edge of your seat, you must not have a seat right now, because it all comes down to this. Derek Grigsby pacing Seth Owens outside. Taylor Locklear, Jared Mann, Joshua Baker back there. We're back under green. Grigsby with a big jump off the restart.
Huge jump there for the 5 of Grigsby. He got what he needed, able to get away. You see Seth Owens going to ride up on the high line. Locklear there on the bottom, going to try to get as high as he can. Jared Mann, the 58 of Joshua Baker, starting to try to put his hat here in the ring. He's going to get behind the one of Locklear, be ready for him to maybe have an aggressive move here. You see the one of Locklear slide up. Jared Mann gets loose out of turn 4, able to hold on to it. We're still green. Jesse Sperling, the white flag is out. This is it. 1 lap to go here. The 5 got everything he can. Can he hold off Locklear for 2 more corners? Locklear should drive it in deep here. Not close enough to make any kind of moves. The checkers are out. He's going to go somewhere. The winner, the 5, Derek Grigsby, steals one at North Wilkesboro.
Derek Grigsby out in front when it matters. 4 races this season, 4 different winners. What an exciting finish down to the wire. Great battles throughout. War of attrition, Michael, like you had said. But at the end of the day, Derek Grigsby crosses the stripe first and is going to burn it down here in Wilkes County. All right, well, Derek Grigsby continues to celebrate. We're going to roll to a quick commercial break, and we'll come back with our post-race festivities.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back to Wilkes County, North Wilkesboro Speedway. What an exciting finish. Let's give a quick rundown of the finishing order before we grab our top 3 finishers. After 250 exciting and intense laps, the 5 of Derek Grigsby takes home the win. 1, Taylor Locklear second. The 29 of Jesse Sperling rebounds for a P3. Caleb Sibbett 4th in the 43. Jared Mann 5th in the 26th. The 3 of Seth Owens finishes 6th. And Bert Wojcik, the 93, finishes 7th. Austin Turner 8th in the 16 truck. The 85 truck of Jason Baker 9th. And the 58 of Joshua Baker finishing P10.
In P11, you have the 62 of Joey Creech. In P12, you have the 14 of Emil Duna. P13 goes to 12 of Chris Griffin. P14 goes to the 11 of Tyler Spry. P15, the 2 of Mickey Sundera. P16, the 51 of Patrick Schaefer. P17, the 00 of Kevin Winker. P18, the 74 of Brian Torrey. P19, the 15 of Christopher Hockley, and P20, the 18 of Jerry McKinney.
That rounds out our 20 truck field here after 250 laps at Wilkes County, North Wilkesboro Speedway. But now we will move into our post-race interviews. We'll start with our third place finisher, the 29 of Jesse Sperling. Jesse, what a race. How would you sum up those 250 laps here this evening?
I'm just glad I survived to finish, honestly. That was crazy there towards the end.
Crazy indeed. I don't know if you know this, Jesse, but 4 races this season so far. You have 4 top 5 finishes. You are the only driver to finish in the top 5 through the first 4 weeks. After a night like tonight, I think that has to feel pretty good, wouldn't you say?
It feels really good. I've been really lucky this season. I hope it doesn't run out anytime soon. But I feel like I'm getting really comfortable with all the tracks that we're running, and yeah, it just feels good.
Long tracks, short tracks, it's looked good so far. Michael, what do you have for Mr. Sperling this evening?
Obviously, Jesse, congrats on the P3 finish. I feel like we've done this a couple of times so far this year, so obviously good to have you back up here again. The biggest thing I kind of want to have a question of is we saw you in those last few restarts. I mean, just get super aggressive. I mean, throwing 3 wide, getting up and rubbing fenders. Kind of talk us through kind of your mindset on those last few. Obviously, the pay window's open. How do you kind of set up yourself to kind of attack it?
Well, I mean, it's just kind of circumstantial, right? There's people. If somebody gets a bad restart in front of you, you're gonna take the gap because it's so hard to pass, especially on the inside. So I just felt like you had to take the opportunities when you could, and sometimes that was a really aggressive move.
Yes, sir. Obviously, looking ahead, you got a couple more short tracks on the schedule. Do you think maybe they'll be as chaotic, quote unquote, as we're gonna word this one? Do you think chaos continues to follow these short tracks? Do you think maybe as they start to get more in a rhythm of how the short track game goes, you think they'll actually get a little more of a green flag run going?
Well, this is the first time all these guys have run in a short track together, so I think everybody's just trying to learn everybody else's driving style. So hopefully it cleans up, and there won't need to be that aggression. We can have some long green flag runs where we're really working on our technique and stuff.
Yes, sir. Well, obviously, congrats once more. We're going to hand over the mic to you for your shout outs and your sponsor plugs.
Yeah, man, I want to thank my sponsor, Vickers Auto Parts and Jiffy Lube from Mechanicsburg and Camp Hill, Pennsylvania, for sponsoring the league and the stages. Um, I want to shout out, want to ask everybody to send up some prayers for my wife. She's been through a couple little procedures in the last week, and just send up one for her. Shout out to my family watching, my mom, Lane and Lori, um, everybody that's watching, everybody at work, Ryan and the crew there. Shout out to you guys for putting on these broadcasts. It's always awesome, and Duna and everybody that helps this league um, keep running. We put together a pretty good group of guys. I know tonight wasn't the cleanest, but I feel pretty comfortable racing around all these guys. So props to them, props to all the drivers, and I want to shout out to the 58. The last corner there to get third place. I kind of went for a really aggressive move and doored him, and I think he gave him the penalties. I tried to give him the spot back because I felt bad about it, and but it is what it is. I just wanted to send out that apology to him.
Well, nothing but respect there, Jesse. Short track racing, elbows up at the end of the night. P3, heck of a run. Congratulations again, and we look forward to seeing you next week.
Yeah, man. See you guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, your third place finisher this evening, the 29 of Jesse Sperling. With that, we get to bring in a new voice to the broadcast booth. Your second place finisher this evening, the number 1 of Taylor Locklear. Taylor, what a exciting event-filled evening. How would you summarize your 250 laps here at North Wilkesboro tonight?
Survival. I just didn't get as involved in, so many incidents relative to the rest of the field. I feel like that was on, the secret sauce to second tonight.
Well, it's awesome. A wise person once said, to finish first, you must first finish. P2 isn't quite that top spot, but a heck of a run. You made a call early in the race when a lot of people pitted. You chose to stay out. Looks like it might have ate you up a little bit in the short period of time, but it obviously paid out in the long run. What was your strategy as you were thinking through when to pit, when to take tires, and try to be there at the end of the race when it mattered?
I'm not sure if the broadcast caught it, but there was a little bit of chaos on that first pit stop. In previous races, North Wilkesboro is a little funky when it comes to the cautions and how long they take and that sort of thing. So I didn't want anything involved with that. And I also wanted to like try early to see what the tires were due if you stayed out. So I got kind of an answer for that early on, and I dropped back, and until I got to maybe eighth, tenth, somewhere around there, and then I pitted for tires.
Well, testing it out or intentional, either way, it led to a P2 finish. Michael, what do you have for Taylor this evening?
Taylor, congratulations on the P3. Obviously, glad to have you up here, a new voice to come and chat with us. The first thing I kind of want to ask, obviously, I feel like a short track racing is kind of a niche thing. It's very hard to try to grasp on how to approach the corner. Coming into your, do you like short tracks? Were you looking forward to this kind of short track heavy schedule, or do you think maybe it's something that you kind of want to work on hard, or maybe something you need to build up as we go on in the season here?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's a weak spot for me. I'm not a short track person. I like the mile and a halfs and the super speedway stuff, but so I got to work at this a little bit. But not a big fan of this track. Um, but I just that probably led to my patience. I didn't have any good speed in practice and that sort of stuff, so I didn't have a lot of expectations. So I was just like, let's chill out and let everybody else, screw up, and we'll see where we land at the end of the night. And kind of everything went our way. That last couple restarts, people got into it and cleared the way, and we just made it happen.
Yes, sir. So may not be your groove, but it's definitely a good groove to be in. P2, congratulations once more. So we're going to hand over the mic to you for your shout outs and your sponsor plugs.
Absolutely. Thanks to Vickers Auto Parts and Jiffy Lube and Mechanicsburg, the presenting sponsors for the league. Uh, we really appreciate that. Shout out to you guys. The broadcast has gotten better and better, and we got a lot of good things with the fantasy NASCAR, whatever you want to call it. That's super fun. You guys are adding and contributing something new continually, and that's much appreciated. So, thank you.
Well, thank you for putting on a heck of a show, and congratulations once again on the P2 finish. We look forward to seeing you next week.
Thanks, guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, your P2 finisher this evening, the one of Taylor Locklear. And that brings us down here to Victory Lane, standing down here with the 5 truck. We talked about it throughout the night. Long run pace, a lot of excitement. Derek Grigsby, how does it feel to be standing here in Victory Lane at the end of 250 laps at North Wilkesboro?
Pretty shocking after that because with 50 laps to go, I told everybody on my team, I was like, I'm not having fun. I hate this track. I hate this truck. And then, yeah, it all just kind of turned around there at the end. So pretty shocking, but pretty cool. Get redemption. I lost one on the last lap at this track a couple of months ago in our other league. So it was nice to kind of get redemption for that.
Well, however it played out, it seems like everybody in the top 3 says they don't really like the track, but yet they're sitting here in the top 3. So I don't know if you guys are sandbagging or if you're just having fun, but talk us through it. There was a lot of action tonight, Derek. There was a lot of things. Obviously, Wilkesboro being a short track, it's elbows up. Sometimes you just get caught up in things. There's nowhere to go. How did you manage to be there at the end when it mattered the most?
Honestly, I think the best thing that happened to me was early in the race. I feel like I was in every single wreck. And so I think it was 118 to go. I realized that if I got any more instep points, I was going to have to do a drive through penalty. And so I just started driving it real easy and letting people go and just kind of cycled out there to where I pit, took 4 tires, and the guys in front of me either took 2 or none. And there with 11 laps to go or so, I could finally kick and push a little bit on that restart. And yeah, just kind of took over from there. But wrecking early and getting in trouble kind of forced me to take a step back. Was probably the best thing that happened.
Yeah, sometimes taking a breath and having to force patience and make other strategy calls works out. But nonetheless, it puts you here in victory lane. Michael, what do you have for our winner this evening?
Derek, obviously, congratulations. First win of the season, a great points boost there. Looking ahead, we got a couple more of these on deck. You kind of think maybe you can maybe build off this, or you still going to have that same mindset? Maybe it's not something you look forward to heading to. Or you think maybe you can kind of have a little bit more luck and shine again at some of more of the short tracks we have later this year?
I mean, I'm not really a short track guy, but over the last 2 or 3 months in this league, I've started to build a little momentum and feel a little more comfortable. So, I mean, I'm just ready to tackle anything that comes on. Honestly, I'll race anything right now.
Like that approach usually translates to speed, but with like I said, once again, congratulations on the win, sir. We're going to hand over the mic for your shout outs and your sponsor plugs.
Uh, Big shout out tonight to our team, Palmetto Motorsports. We picked up a 1-2 there. So that's great for us in points. And then shout out to you guys at the Veterans and Affiliated Network for putting this on, and Duna over the league, and Jiffy Lube of Mechanicsburg, Camp Hill, Pennsylvania sponsors us, and Vickers Auto Parts. Just shout out to all those guys. And then my sponsor tonight was Vision Racing Ministries, which is something I'm a part of at our local dirt track. So pretty cool to get the first win with them on the hood. So that's something I care about deeply. So pretty cool deal. And yeah, just thanks to everybody for coming out tonight. I know it wasn't the funnest race in the world, but thanks for everybody for sticking around.
Well, congratulations, Derek. Fun is all in the eye of the beholder. It was a lot of action, and you're standing in victory lane. So I think for you, that's the most important thing this evening. We look forward to seeing you again next week.
Thanks, guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, your winner this evening, the 5 of Derek Grigsby. Whew. Michael, we could take a breath real quick and think about what we just experienced. But guess what? We've got more short track racing to do.
It's definitely more to come on this saga of short track racing. I'm curious to see how it translates coming down the pike. We got a few more right around the corner. So if you had upset with somebody at this race, we better circle and get ready for it to rear its ugly head when we go back next week to a similar scenario.
Yeah, it's funny how you know Friday through Wednesday you can forget about things, but all of a sudden Thursday rolls around and the memory gets long. And let's go ahead and give you a look at the upcoming schedule just to show you exactly what we're talking about. We've wrapped up a wide variety of tracks here, just wrapping up North Wilkesboro. But next week, Lucas Oil, Indy Raceway Park, it's going to be another elbows up race, and Kentucky after that, and then the Milwaukee Mile. We don't even have to look beyond that. Just those 3 tracks alone, Michael, we're going to see a lot of momentum, and momentum can be defined in a lot of different ways. Carry forward from this evening's race.
Agreed. Obviously, we know Jesse Sperling, our points leader. He's going to look for more momentum, try to build up on that gap. We saw him have a good run here tonight. He's going to look to do the same thing at Lucas Oil, which is it's a very interesting short track. We'll obviously dive into that when we get here next week, but something definitely to look forward to there. But momentum can be, like I said, Jesse Sperling trying to extend that lead by a couple points. It can be like we saw tonight. Derek Grisby having a great night. He's going to jump himself up a good spot in the points with that win. So we'll review that at the start of next week as well. Just kind of how the points shifted off of all these new faces popping their heads up here on the podium. So the momentum, it doesn't even have to be a finish. It's just getting good points. If somebody has a bad point state, can you capitalize? Try to advance yourself spots above that chase line that we're talking about to get yourself ever so closer to that chase that we start in a couple weeks here.
Indeed. Excitement this week, excitement every week at the HPRL Truck Series. And you heard all of our drivers mention this, and we want to mention it again too. The title sponsor for season 6 of the HPRL Truck Series, Jiffy Lube of Mechanicsburg and Camp Hill, Pennsylvania. Jiffy Lube of Mechanicsburg and Camp Hill, Pennsylvania is proud to support grassroots racing and the sim racing community. We provide fast, reliable automotive maintenance to help keep our customers on the road with confidence. From oil changes and inspections to preventative maintenance and vehicle care, we're committed to quality service in the Mechanicsburg and Camp Hill, Pennsylvania communities. Just like racing, vehicle maintenance depends on performance, reliability, and attention to detail. We're excited to support the HPRL Truck Series and the drivers, teams, and fans who love motorsports. Jiffy Lube of Mechanicsburg and Camp Hill, Pennsylvania. Leave worry behind. and leave worry behind. That's what we'd like to think as we head out of Wilkes County, Michael. But the excitement is just brewing. I'm excited. I know you're excited. And we love having all of you follow along. Whether you watch live or watch the replays, we appreciate the support. For Emil Duna and everybody at the HPRL Truck Series Administrative Office, for everybody behind the scenes at Veterans and Affiliated Network, on behalf of Michael, I am Troy, wishing you all a wonderful evening. And remember, keep it between the lines.